and welcome to Xena Warrior Podcast. My name is Vera, and I'm joined, as always, by my two Icarian co-hosts, Katie.
Hello.
And Livy.
What does that mean?
It's like Icarus, like when you fly high.
Oh, man, are we flying too close to the sun?
Yeah, and doing like crazy, like flying on tapestries and then you get burned by Eli.
By sun Eli.
Yeah.
I was like, if they had just worn some sunscreen, we'd still have Livia.
Oh my goodness, yes, we are doing the sequel to last week's Livia, this one titled Eve. And that means that there is only one episode left after this of season 5. That's insanity.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
We're flying too close to the sun, and the sun is the end of season 5, or it's season 6, I guess. Season 6 is the sun, and we are so close.
So close. Oh my goodness. So, you know what that means? That means that there's going to be a mailbag, and we need them questions. So please send them to us on, we take them on Facebook, we take them on Twitter, we take them via email. Instagram, sure, drop them there too. We are everywhere, and that's where we want all your questions. We already got some from some people, so thank you.
Yes, thank you. We're excited to answer them.
Yes. So speaking of Facebook, we had a really interesting comment from Troy last week regarding our confusion about how our gals ended up frozen in, what did we say, Mount Amaro?
We said Mount Etna was the same mountain where they were crucified, and it is not, as Troy kindly pointed out.
Yes.
That was Mount Amaro.
They're mountains.
Well, no, but the coolest part is that, I ain't no geologist, so I appreciated learning this. Etna is an active volcano or mountain or whatever. So hence it explains why their ice cave got busted, because it just was active.
It was rumbly.
Yeah. I think that's cool. That's a good explanation.
Cool. That's an easy explanation. I prefer Eli doing it.
Well,
but
hello, duh. Every single geological activity is
caused by
Eli. So there you go.
That's dumb of him. That means he killed Pompeii.
Why,
Eli?
I don't think that's how it works.
Why? What, like that village lady? Why? Why?
Okay, so any other point of business? Oh, just our amazing drinks that Katie created for us.
I didn't create it. I copied the recipe.
But what are they inspired by? What are they?
Oh, gin martini.
Ooh,
well,
classy.
Technically the name of it was Hugo's Martini.
Who's Hugo?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Ask Ryan and Blake.
Hugo Boss?
It's from Aviation Gin, which is Ryan Reynolds' gin company, or that he part owns, or what have you. Anyway, there's pictures of him that come with the bottle, and I bought it.
But anyway, we saw A Simple Favor, which everyone should see, and really we're drinking it not because of Ryan Reynolds, but because Blake Lively kept pimping it.
Speak for yourself.
Shut up! She made these drinks, and it was good, and she wore suits, and it was great.
The scene where she made the drinks is a great scene.
Yeah.
Nobody understood, though, that I was whispering in the movie, LOLing about her giant gin company advertisement.
It made sense to me.
You didn't understand.
That's what movies do. They pick a thing and they advertise it.
Is it déclassé to have product placement when the products are your own?
No, but look, and we bought it.
Yeah, it worked. So
not paying us.
They also drank Lefroy whiskey, which I highly recommend.
Ooh, Lefroy.
Also, go see A Simple Favor.
Yeah, go see A Simple Favor.
Nobody's paying us.
Nobody. It's just that good. So, the episode.
Yeah. Question. I like the two-parter being called Livia and Eve, but do you think just having it be called Eve is a super spoiler just right off the bat?
Well, not if she never gets to be Eve.
Never, yeah.
Maybe she could have killed Eve.
Just curious.
It's an interesting point.
I'm just curious.
I think the way the episode's put together, by the end, you're sure, or at least I felt very sure that, something was going to happen with that whole Livia, Eve, what do we call this person?
Right.
It really sets that up. So, I don't know. It's par for the course for me.
I don't know. I was just curious.
I think that's a great question.
I do love when you have two-parters that have titles that kind of complete an idea.
Oh, that's
what
so
is it?
true.
Essence and Existence from X-Files? Did I make that up?
Oh, they have a lot that
Yeah,
are
they have a
like
lot
that.
kind of like that. But I think it's a cool thing you can do. You know, part 1, part 2 is sort of boring. Like when you have Livia and Eve, you're kind of making a statement with it, which is cool.
Exactly.
More clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love episode titles. They're like one of my faves. All right, so this episode begins with our crew. It's Xena, Gabs, Joxer, and Virgil, and they're on Livia's trail. There's lots of tracks to follow, and Livia has her like.
Did you say who wrote and directed this?
Oh, you're right. I didn't say shit. Okay. Rewind. Okay. 521 Eve.
Yay!
Written by George Stratton and Tom O'Neill, but with like teleplay. It wasn't an actual credit on there.
Yeah, they
but
didn't
it's like,
credit it, but it seemed general knowledge among the fandom that Chris Mannheim and someone else did extensive rewrites.
Yeah. And directed by Mark Beesley, and it looks really great, so that's how we know.
Yeah, I would say this is maybe Beasley's best outing.
Best.
This is impressive, and we're following a Rick Jacobson episode, which was itself very well done.
Yeah.
This blows it out of the water, I think, certainly in terms of the action, but I think everything, all the shot choices are awesome.
Gorgeous.
And he gets some performances.
He sure does.
Woo! We should talk briefly about Stratton and O'Neill, who are our staff writers this year. They were hired around the same time as Orsi and Kurtzman.
Ew.
If you allow me to remind you that those dudes existed.
Yeah.
The dark times.
I read an interview with them where they seemed a little bit shady about this episode.
Oh, these guys? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Tom O'Neill. Now I forget. One of them.
It was Stratton.
It was Stratton.
Because I read that too.
Oh, okay. We've read the same shady interview. Do you agree that it was
I
shady?
didn't think it was shady, but I do think that they sort of were mainly talking about 3 versions of the script, I guess, existed. They mainly seem to be talking about the second version, which was RJ kind of like fixed it up slightly. Oh, no, this is their version, obviously. Sorry.
Right, before
they
Chris
were talking
came in
about
and
their
rewrote
crappy
it.
version.
Yeah.
Which was like really bad compared to what we actually got here.
It sounds like basically this episode is right when the changeover like really happened. Like this was like in the idea stage. They were just breaking it. And the original version with Kurtzman and Orsi's input was like super different.
Super dumb. It involved like a giant siege weapon that Livia was going to build. And
It
like
shot fireballs.
It shot fireballs. It involved like her general dude, way more active. And
Right, it kind of was repeating Xena's gauntlet plot where her second in command kind of mutinies, senses weakness in her and mutinies.
Right.
Huh.
That's not bad,
I'm trying to
but
sell
like,
it.
but it is bad. It sounded very
Also,
bad.
I mean, most importantly, Livia would not have been redeemed at the end of this
Right.
episode, or indeed at the end of the season in
Oh.
the original conception.
Right. Because, well, yes.
It sounds like she literally would have been redeemed in the series finale.
Yeah, because they had
That's
a
a
whole
long time from now.
Orsi and other one had a completely different, like, view of the season and
What
everything.
the show
so,
was going to be.
Yeah, so whatever.
They definitely, I think, wanted to extend the Twilight and, all this stuff that they kind of came up with and pushed. The
Right.
Twilight was
I mean, it's a
something-
big one. Twilight's big.
It was big, but it was especially big in the Orsi Kurtzman era. So I
Right.
think that's part of why we're seeing a little bit of house cleaning and how fast a lot of this plot gets wrapped up. I think
I'm okay with some of
I
it.
think RJ was like, I want to move on.
Yeah, I want to come up with stuff that's not your stuff.
Xena's daughter, I want to move on. Like, it is what it is.
It is what it is,
It's it's frustrating because you want this plot to be played out in a satisfying way, but you're also like, I get why the people now in charge of the show are like, there's so many things I just wish to forget.
But I kind of like that the Twilight's wrapped up by the end of the season.
I agree. It had been hanging over their heads for a year. I certainly didn't need it to like be pushed over.
Yeah, that's what I
another
mean.
year.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so they're walking. There's a lot of tracks.
Back to the
So they figure out from the tracks that
Hey, did you notice Gabs has a horse?
nobody rides on the horses. They
They're
just
just
walk with
there.
them,
They're
even
just
though
going for a
technically
nice walk.
they could have everyone, especially like there's
Xena will later ride the
okay,
horse.
there's an old man with them. Don't forget. So and
He should
they
be on the
choose
horse.
to walk with him.
Walking is very good for you.
I understand, but they could have easily been on 2 horses with 2 people.
I just want to point out the attractiveness of Gabrielle's horse. It's a beautiful kind of mottled gray horse. Very pretty.
Excellent.
What's this horse's name? Let's call him Pretty to go with handsome.
Okay, not handsome too?
No, Pretty.
So Livia has this Roman company with her, and they're like a day ahead of them. Okay, everyone is assuring Xena that they're going to find Livia or Eve.
They're exclusively
They're
calling
Eve?
her
Okay,
Eve.
yeah.
It's important. We should
It's a
say
big deal.
throughout this podcast what people choose to
It's
refer
true.
to this character
I
as.
may screw up myself.
Yeah, you
just
better get it right, Vera.
for my own notes.
Yeah.
She's Eve right now.
Okay.
My notes are a mess.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, well, yeah, so they're trying to find Eve, and literally Xena's like, you keep saying Eve, the woman we're tracking is Livia, champion of Rome.
Right.
I'm not sure that my daughter even exists anymore. But Gabrielle still has
Faith.
hope.
You gotta have faith. Or hope.
I'm glad nobody is named Faith on this show, right?
That would have been one step too far. They should have. I'm glad they did not name this daughter Faith to go with hope.
How many pep talks does Gabs do before she's like,
Yeah.
fuck everything?
Well, we
I
know
said?
exactly how many because
three?
she gives up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because counting last week, she had one last week.
She had one last week.
This is
Yeah.
another.
This is the second.
Every time she comes over to Xena this episode, except for once, she's basically like, Xena, we're totally gonna do this. It's fine.
great.
Yeah,
It's
I
great.
mean,
She's
Xena's
really
going
positive.
through something, and Gabs
Yeah.
is there to be like, you can do this. You got this, babe.
Yeah. So Gab says a lifetime of serving Rome doesn't change the fact that she's your daughter. When she looks inside herself, she'll see you there and be Eve again.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a very nice idea.
And Joxer reassures them with, yeah, sure, with a mother like you, how bad can she be?
The way he says this is so like old Italian grandpa. Like, it's just I don't
I should have read it. Sure, with a mother like you.
Stereotype.
But yeah, I mean, it does
I don't
seem
get the
important. I mean, I like the turn here that everybody's like, look, she has you for a mom. You're the best. And Xena hears this and is like, I'm the worst. They don't understand. I'm the worst.
And she
Yeah.
has a literal turn that is amazing. She turns and we dissolve.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh God, you guys,
This
this
is a gorgeous
stuff
dissolve.
is just so amazing. We dissolve from this close up of Xena to this close up of Livia, and she is fucking a bloody sword.
Yeah.
What does this remind you guys of?
Callisto.
Callisto, her dad. The camera pulls
Just
out.
contextually,
Yes.
it's so good as a dissolve because it links that comment that you just made about, Xena will then later, we'll get to it, but this is what Xena feels about the inside of herself
Yeah.
and not listening to anybody else around her.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so good. So the camera pulls out and we see Livia's fury. She is her father's daughter. And the music agrees. 'Cause
Oh man,
We
this
sure
is
have
full
some...
on Callisto realness.
She's slaughtering the followers of Eli.
It's so bloody. There's just
Yeah.
blood everywhere,
It's
including
really-
all over Livia.
Oh yeah, it's very good
There's
looking.
like my favorite is there's like this almost like cross shape on her boob
Oh.
in blood spatter. I was
Whoa.
like, ooh. And then like someone just like punches a villager and just like automatically they're just like covered in blood. This is I think one of the bloodiest
Yeah.
Xena episodes there's ever been.
Yeah.
For sure.
Great. So she's slaughtering these followers of Eli.
Followers of Eli, don't forget to turn the other cheek.
Is that your...
Yeah, that's
impression
her
of
Livia.
That's not
That's
the
her
greatest. Yeah, it's a bad Hudson and a bad Adrian.
So, but are they the followers of Eli?
No,
Yeah.
I guess not.
They're not. Because
They're
her
just-
general is like, ma'am, we can't find any Temple of Eli here. And she's like, I care not.
Yeah, she does not care.
She's just on a rampage.
Yep, kill 'em
Rampage.
all.
She's kind of the worst.
She
Gotta
is.
say. Not the best.
We're later going to find out she crossed the line that bad Xena never crossed, which is women and children. So
Right.
bear that in mind.
But-
Worse than bad Xena.
Well,
Except
somebody.
then we find out Xena did kill a lot of women. I don't know about children.
Where they were armed.
She did kidnap and torment a child. So it's true that this supposed line of Xena's never existed either.
Well, this old man villager that they caught is like, we've seen worse than you. We lived through Callisto's raids. Questions, they're in Italy.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I guess she raided as far as Italy.
Sure she did. And then, okay, so Livia's like, oh, Callisto, she did some good work, but I'm not Callisto.
She says in a very Callisto voice.
And then she swings her sword, does like a chopping, and we see it in like 3 different edits. It's one of those that dramatic.
It was very dramatic. She beheaded that guy. That was hardcore.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, she's really bad. All of her dialogue here too is just so awful.
Do you mean awful, like
so
awful human being, or awful,
like
bad
Roman,
aesthetically?
Authoritarian, nasty, calling them vermin and an infection for Rome? It's just like the rhetoric is not good.
Yeah,
and she's bad. She's a bad baddie.
Yeah,
She's bad girl.
very shitty.
So then after that chop, we dissolve to Xena and the crew, and they arrive in that same village, slightly later, and they take in the carnage.
And it's more than just carnage.
Yeah.
She's crucified them.
This is a really good scene. It's like I just like the way that it's filmed.
Yeah.
From those like
because
it's different angles, like low,
Well, yeah, you have the first thing is like they come and you see like the bodies that are like just laying around. So they're like, oh my goodness. But then you see like Xena, like you see them staring up. So you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
and you have the big reveal of like so many crucifixions.
Yeah.
Does this make her worse than Callisto? Because like you're
'Cause she
saying,
crucified
Katie,
people?
well, Callisto never has these sort of authoritarian kind of racist like statements about people. She just murders everyone. She's an equal opportunity murderer. Is it worse when you have this kind of authoritarian, I'm gonna rule the world?
Do you think she believes it, or do you think she's just using that as an excuse because she needs to kill people to get mommy's attention?
Well, and we also hear that she's mostly just doing this because Ares at one point had that deal with her. If she did this for him.
So I don't think she like believes it specifically.
She does seem to love Rome, though. Why?
Do you feel that the show doesn't do a good enough job of like setting up like how she is this way? Like because Callisto, you understand everything about it. It's amazing character, amazing backstory. You get the personal rage. You get where all that's.
But it's the
from.
same rage right now. She's dealing with the same.
But what about
she isn't.
What about a couple weeks ago?
Her backstory.
That's a question. When she brought all those the slaves,
she's
right?
A beloved child who like had all the best of everything, but didn't have a mom. Her mom came back and flirted with her boyfriend and got her fired. That's what's happened.
That is what's happened. Yeah.
So compared to. Seeing someone burn your family and like execute everyone you know.
But like the question is, when she was going around getting slaves of the followers of Eli and bringing them to Rome and parading them around, like did she fully believe that this was the right thing to do? Like what is her true opinion of?
I sort of, feel like she's been brainwashed a bit. She thinks that's what you do as a good Roman. That's part of glory to Rome.
Great. Redemption arc.
I guess so. She needs to be told that's bad. That's not how you get ahead in life. She's never questioned it.
Right.
I like this character. And, in some ways it's great to have these comparisons to Callisto. But I think as I've kind of tried to demonstrate, they're very different people, actually. Livia's going off on a tantrum because she didn't get what she wanted. Like, she's a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
Whereas Callisto, I don't think you can exactly describe her that way.
No. She
was a rage demon.
She wasn't allowed to be a spoiled brat.
No, she never got that chance. She really had a grievance against Xena, whereas a lot of Livia, it's just like, she doesn't understand.
A privileged spoiled brat,
Yeah. I mean, I like that about the character, and I think Adrienne Wilkinson plays that. In many ways, I wish, like you're kind of saying, Katie, I wish there had been more time spent on just how this character is different from the other violent women we've met.
Yeah.
Like, I think that that would have gone a long way to like deepening the character.
Absolutely. I think we all agree more episodes with her would have been great.
More Livia.
Yeah. Okay, so amazing. This shot and the scene continues to be amazing. So after we see all the crucifixions from a wide angle, we cut to them all kind of like observing them like from below, and you have this amazing crane shot of Xena realizing, my daughter did this.
And this is just after she's like, I'm not even sure my daughter exists anymore. She sees this, and her first thought is, my daughter did this.
Yeah.
Oh no, why do you put it like that?
It's true. Her daughter still
so
exists.
upsetting.
Alas.
So after, this is our credits roll after this. When we come back, it's like they see one lady who's crucified and there's like a sign under her and they read it.
It's written either in red paint or maybe blood.
I think it's written in blood, dude.
Yeah,
They didn't bring
Livia's
red paint with
extra.
them. It's just convenient there, okay?
She's written in Latin, Rome needs no mother.
Which is amazing.
Wow, girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, guys, Xena can read Latin. She can't read normal, but she can read Latin.
And the hieroglyphics she could read too.
She can read
Antony and
all
Cleopatra.
sorts. She's a smart lady. I wish she would stop. Knock it off. She's super
Knock it off.
intelligent.
Okay, so this was a confusing little moment to me. Virgil like starts saying names,
yes.
and he knows these people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this his village?
Well,
What?
No,
not his village,
they're
but
his buds.
He works in town.
So he just knows everyone.
Yeah, this is like a neighboring suburb.
I don't feel like they're far from Joxer and Meg's village.
They're definitely a day away at least.
I was concerned for a second
Yeah,
that this
but-
was his village, and I was like, "What happened to Meg? Oh my god!"
No, it's a different village.
Phew.
But I hated it because it's just like, let's make Virgil
Important
some more. Take your turn, Virgil. Jesus. So Gabs takes Xena's arm to comfort her,
Best.
but
Oh, were you signaling to me?
yeah, I thought you were going to talk about this.
Because Xena jerks her arm away
Oh
from
my God.
her touch as if it
Yes.
burned.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Because Gabs was going to do another pep talk. She was like, this isn't your fault.
Yeah.
She was like, fuck you.
She was not wanting
Yeah.
the pep talk right now.
Yeah.
Or anything.
She did not want a pep talk right now.
Definitely didn't want any comfort.
Oh, that was such a good moment.
Nobody
so sad.
expected that, yeah.
Yeah.
So because she said Xena, this lady from like the Carnage is like, Xena? Your name is Xena? And Xena like bends down to her and then the lady spits in her face.
Oh shit.
Livia killed this lady's entire family. And when she asked her why, and she's like, why? Like Nancy Kerrigan,
Why? Oh, it was the Nancy
Yeah.
Kerrigan why.
Sad.
She said that Livia said, ask Xena, ask my mother.
Ugh.
I don't know, man. She's like, yeah, this is even more, I think, hardcore than anything Callisto really did.
Well, I mean, she's her daughter.
I know. This is like
immediately
she's-
gives it a certain level of just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like she already had the like Rome needs no mother, but this is like an extra like sting.
Yeah.
She's really fucked up about this. I guess it's weird. It's weird for her.
Xena's reaction to this woman is really good.
You mean the single tear extravaganza?
Yes.
Oh my
the
God,
single
so many
tear
tears in this
extravaganza.
act.
Yeah. Oh, she's so. Can we talk about just how great Lucy is in this episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is one of, I think, her greatest performances. It is powerful. And yeah, like it's kind of like sustained grief,
Yeah.
over 40 minutes. So
Right.
it's really impressive that like each time she does the cry face, it's different. It's telling you something different. Like, oh man. So
Yeah.
this one to me is her like trying to like hold it together. Like this woman is spitting in her face and she's sort of like trying to stay kind of controlled. Like it's a very
Right.
contained cry face.
Xena goes to stand among the crosses, which I thought was
love these
so
shots.
great. I just thought that in general, like her even going to stand in the middle of these people was so good because, like, again, the most important thing, well, second most important thing that ever happened to her was her being put on the cross by Caesar. So this moment is like extra because, her daughter is doing this thing that traumatized her so much one time in her life.
Yeah. And it's just really, like, the visuals themselves are just so striking. You have this, like, sort of smoky post-battle village with these crosses. It's almost like a forest, like we're walking through this forest of crosses. It was very upsetting. And I give them props that then there's going to be this scene with Xena and Ares, and the whole thing takes place, you know, among these crucified victims. And you just see them there in the wide shot covering the conversation. And it's so disturbing in this kind of low-key way. Yeah, it's very impressive, I thought, in terms of how they chose to shoot that.
Right.
Speaking of Ares.
Yeah, Bees, he does this amazing, like, swing around from Xena's close-up. And, like, you hear this whoosh, but, like, a good whoosh, not, like, a funny whoosha whoosh. And you reveal that there's Ares in the background, like kind of like her, like an evil angel, like in the background, but he's blurry. So I love that too.
Yeah, that's one of his better appearances.
Yeah, he's
not
leaning
cheesy.
on the cross.
Yeah, I love that detail that he's just kind of casually leaning.
Yeah. So he's like, she's something, isn't she?
That's my daughter, you sick bastard.
Yeah, because he says she basically already racked up the body count that Xena had at her age.
I think that it was, I mean...
Xena at 25 is like when the show began.
So, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was good that they point that out.
Oh, okay.
Just like, I mean, you're supposed to be thinking about it, but I feel like good about it being textual. I guess. Just in case you weren't thinking about it, like you're a casual viewer who's like not really like putting it together.
Remember when Xena killed 10,000 people this year?
Yeah,
that happened, and it was presented as a great thing.
Was it 10 or 100,000?
10,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
God, I hope it wasn't 100,000.
That makes all the difference.
So Ares continues being a dick, and he's like, why do you think it was so easy to turn her?
Oh.
He's just playing exactly to the stuff that he knows that she's thinking about.
I think it's really great that starting with the last episode, he just continues. Like, every time he appears to Xena, he's teaching her a lesson, you know, like, about his feelings. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, you think this hurts? Well, it's because this and that relates to him and, like, their previous encounters. So this is one of his, like, little burns.
Yeah, he certainly knows her very well. As these burns demonstrate.
Well, I just think it's interesting because, like, in every single other episode before this, it's just him kind of being like, hey, let's get together. Do this for me. Yeah. And now it's just like, you hurt me, Xena. This is what it feels like.
And it's about to get so much worse.
Yeah.
Because, he puts his offer forward again, and she does more than just reject it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He reiterates how he wants her to have his child, and she says that she'd rather go to hell.
Yeah.
And
she's grossed out by
hell,
it.
Which is fun.
Because she's been there.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Things have changed. The times they are changing.
Well, his reaction to this is shocking.
Yeah.
He just, like, charges at her and grabs her, and the camera movement here, too, kind of emphasizes it. Yes. Like, you suddenly get this shot from below, and you see, like, the person on the cross right behind them, and he's, like, up in Xena's face shouting.
Yeah, the cross, like, in the middle of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, like, violent. This is a violent moment.
We've never seen him lose his cool quite like this.
Yeah, he's basically
Xena.
like, give me a child or else.
Yeah,
like,
he's just
it's
sort
really
of yelling
crazy.
at her. Yeah.
Yeah, and she said that the thought of having his child is disgusting.
Sickens me.
And he leaves in a huff.
Yeah, he's just done. He doesn't even try to get the last word, which we know from, like, if Ares doesn't even try to get the last word, like, that's dangerous. That's a problem. He's really upset.
Get a coin ready.
All right.
Uh-oh.
It's very bad. It's abusive. Super gross. Yuck. Ares. Boo. So hot. Put it in. Oh
his voice gets all, like, growling.
Oh, my God. It was so good. You're, like, watching something like, whoa.
So he goes straight to Livia.
Thank you. Just for me, too. Carry on.
He goes straight to Livia and he wants their arrangement reinstated.
This was interesting. Not the reinstatement of the relationship, but this scene begins with Livia drinking from her, what do you call it, canteen thing. She like takes this like giant swig that goes on a really long time, and Ares has this thing where he's like, "Oh, kind of early for like drinking."
Yeah, like it's
Oh my
like
God.
her canteen is full of like
It's
alcohol.
her big old flask.
And then later in the episode, you see her with a big goblet in the scene where
my God,
Gabrielle
she's
goes
drinking
to meet her.
alcohol?
I think this entire thing is a drunken rampage.
Oh my God.
Which kind of goes with her vibe of sort of being this spoiled party kid who's just like
Wow.
kind of on one, you know? So yeah, I liked that detail, and I think that gives you a lot, not just like insight into like Livia, like what sort of person she is, but also like the emotional pain that she's in. I think that's very significant for what happens at the end.
Yes.
It's not like that, you know, seeing the light comes out of nowhere. Like she is literally drinking to avoid thinking
That's
about
interesting.
what's going on with
Yeah.
her.
Because, like, don't forget that we've always equated Xena's own violence to
Being
addiction.
being an
so,
addict, yeah.
Yeah, it's good that that was because I clocked that line too, and it's just such a tiny line that's almost like a joke, like, haha, you're drinking in the middle of the day or whatever. But like when you put it that way,
Wow, I didn't even
Yeah.
notice it. This is amazing, guys.
It's something. And then, then
'Cause it's
when
like a
that
throwaway
goblet
line.
appeared,
Yeah. So the deal is that she destroys the cult of Eli for him, and he makes her empress of Rome.
I thought it was interesting that, you know, like you say...
With some divine intervention.
Oh,
was
right.
a really good
You like
line.
that? With some divine...
Yeah, because it's important for this.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even put that together. Divine intervention is an important phrase. I thought it was interesting in this scene, which, like you say, is sort of him trying to rekindle something with Livia. It's not like he's actually trying to seduce her. Like, it's not sexy.
No, but
the
it's...
kiss is very platonic.
Yeah, because it's like that thing of like she's second best for him right now, and if he can't have like the one thing, like he has to go back to like his other, you know.
But I feel like he's not, you know, he's not working it.
But he's not working it like in that way. But he is being like, you have to kill Xena.
Yeah,
because that's like what's on his mind.
That's how he goes. But I did think it was interesting that even though he's obviously betraying Xena and being, you know, even more of an asshole than usual, he's not trying to make out with Xena's daughter.
No, because
if anything, that kiss almost had fatherly vibes.
No,
it was a weird forehead kiss.
He wouldn't be kissing her because they already went through this whole thing. There's no way he could like make her believe that he's into her
I
again.
guess so.
And also like he's really his like mind and heart is like just pointed not right there.
I'm just
you know, where
saying,
it's
forehead
pointed.
kiss. Forehead kiss.
Whatever.
What? I don't think they're getting back together as boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, but like Livia, I mean, she still kind of flirts with him, but she is drunk.
And the flirting is very mocking because she's like
half
she
mocking,
points
half
the sword at him, sort of being like, "Oh, aren't you worried? I'm gonna like bring about the twilight."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I've read those books and I like them."
He kind of like then goes through, you know, the plot of the whole season, basically being like, yeah, like when you were born, like Zeus died,
We're all freaking
and, like,
out.
Hera disappeared, and it was like a big deal. But then for 25 years, like nothing happened.
I love that he brought that up.
Yeah.
That feels very important to me. He's like, you know what? Nothing fucking happened.
Yeah.
You're just running around being alive, and we're all still here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like,
she drops the sword. He kind of
Yes,
like,
yes.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
That she's like, oh, okay, so I'm not like a cosmic badass. I'm just a drunk girl with a sword.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I also like he has previously said something along these lines. I forget in which
Are you
episode.
sure it was him and not us? Because
No,
we
no.
definitely.
He said it to Athena, and we were so proud of him for
Oh, okay.
saying something smart.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm glad he stuck to this theory. 'Cause
Okay.
he does seem to be right.
Well, I mean, like
this point.
his conclusion is that the only power that she has over them is their own fear, which is, you know. And then he says, "Reclaim your destiny."
Big D.
Kill Xena. Dun dun dun.
And then there's the weird forehead kiss.
Right.
So that's interesting because again, destiny, because it's like that was Callisto's destiny? Question mark. That was like Xena's own destiny to kill her own self with her destruction. All sorts of stuff that's like in Livia's blood.
And also just obviously anybody saying the word destiny makes us think of Caesar.
Of course, because then you had all the crosses we already talked about.
Yeah.
Xena looking at the crosses, what is she thinking about, et cetera, et cetera.
And of course, unlike Caesar, Livia actually does have a prophecy about her. Like she
That's
has
true.
a destiny.
Yeah. Oh. Cool.
But like contextually with like Roman stuff and Caesar and all that stuff, it would have probably to those people been the same as well. Like in terms of
He was presenting himself,
divinely
yeah,
chosen.
And I think we even talked about that at one point he was carrying banners that sort of had like religious symbols on them, and we thought,
Who did?
he was Caesar.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well,
so
I mean,
he was
emperor
asking
equals
people,
God,
right? To worship,
So it's not like an abstract concept for her in this world.
So then Xena and the gang are still following Livy's trail. This time, Xena is freaking out that they're tracking her kid. Gabs has to do a pep talk.
Another pep talk.
Pep talk number
2?
3?
Well, okay.
Two
but
of the
for
episode.
this episode.
2 episodes.
3 about this subject matter.
Ares did this, she says. No.
Yeah, that's interesting that she blames Ares for all of it.
Well, I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong, but she's trying a new angle because Xena hasn't been like listening to her previous.
I love this scene. So
yeah, would you like to talk about it?
I was just looking ahead at my note. Well, I mean, she's not wrong. You guys are right. She's not wrong. Mm-hmm. She's definitely not wrong. But then Xena has that line where she says that Ares opened the door, but she had to walk through. Mm-hmm. So just bringing in that concept of like, everybody has a choice, which is huge for the show. Like, choices.
And Xena speaking from experience, right?
Exactly.
Ares opened a door for her.
Yes.
And she walked through
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The next line is like incredible.
Ugh.
Xena says, Eve finally took a good look inside herself and she found me there.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's
so good. You know what's
heart,
guys? You know what's the best?
Why is it doing this to me?
The best is that this show made this character have 2 incredible backstory parents. Like we love both Callisto's journey and we love Xena's. So every time, like either side is great.
It's great. Yeah, great callbacks all around.
Yeah, all around.
It was the show knows it too because last week you had Xena being like, "She's me and Callisto. That sucks for her. Oh my god." Well, basically, it was a scene. So
yeah. So she says that, and then Gabs is like, "That's not what I meant."
Oh. Gabs, I feel for her. She's trying so hard.
She's trying so hard.
Like every possible angle she could hit.
She knows, but like she is also speaking from experience. Like, she knows that Xena changed. She's seen it. She's witnessed it. She's been an integral part of it. So why wouldn't she be giving these pep talks?
Yeah. This is, so central to Gabrielle's whole view of the world for the longest time, which is, that people can change.
Yeah.
That you gotta try talking to them first before you kill them.
Right.
Like this is, in a way, a return to old school Gabs to have her be this person who keeps saying these things.
Well, that's a good point because there's a lot of old school Gabs callbacks in this episode. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we sort of have her journey mirrored in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm. So Xena says that, it's really hard. It's just like all of this is like in Eve's blood.
I made her who she is.
I was her.
Oh no!
And then
Gabrielle, don't do it.
Drum roll,
don't do it, girl. Don't do it.
Gabs said.
Why would you? Honestly, the way she said this, I literally thought she was talking about something else.
I did too.
I was like, "What is that? How is that relevant, Gabs?"
Yeah. So ready? Gabs says, "Then there's hope."
And she puts the emphasis on hope. She's like, then there's hope. And you're like, yes? What did hope do?
We're like, you're bringing hope back, Gabs? Okay, let's talk about
Remember
her.
how you wanted to kill her?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen. So, okay, number one, again, it is a word.
It is a word.
And it is sometimes the only good word. So I feel for them in these situations where it is maybe the best word choice. it's crazy also in this episode because it's like part of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the major
Anyway.
subtext,
Yeah.
and here it's literally becomes text, but then
This isn't
is
even
not.
This isn't even the most hilarious use of hope in
It's
this
still coming?
like stretch. Like
Oh, we
there's
can't
a
wait.
better one in
Oh,
mind.
this is a good one.
This one is a lot.
This was a good one. So
She says, then there's hope because you changed.
yes, that's what she meant.
That's the end of that sentence. Can you
Because
believe
you
it?
changed.
Then there's hope. Because you changed. You're like,
you
what?
believe?
But they share very nice little smiles. Very
Yeah.
nice, very cute. It's all facts. It's all true.
All right. So then we go to a village, and that general guy. By the way, Livia's general dude. He also played a Roman general or soldier or whatnot in Spartacus.
Oh, okay.
Type- Typecasting.
Yep. So he's about to hammer a nail into a crucifixion victim when suddenly the chakram comes and cuts the hammer in half. Xena enters with a line.
I like this one.
All right, boys, that's enough arts and crafts for today. How dare she reuse a line that she used for Hephaestus?
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that. You're right. Okay, that makes me like it less. Also,
You're
is it
right.
bad that she's doing lines like making
Yeah,
light of
it's
crucifixion?
Really bad. This is so unnecessary.
Maybe sometimes you just need to just.
Yeah,
The
undercut
situation is
She's
so rough.
well. You said that the last scene they ended with some smiles, so she's feeling like her old self again.
Why is she so obsessed with arts and crafts?
That's a good point.
And like making fun of arts and crafts? Like, what does she have
know.
against arts and
I
crafts?
know. Gosh, Xena.
Anyway,
So there's like a big fight. We have Xena versus that general dude, and then you have Gabs versus two guys. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Gabs.
Yeah, she's going
She's
to town
great.
on some dudes.
She and like there's so many kicks. She like
Yeah.
does like high kicks like 4 in a row. It's
Yeah.
impressive.
And Virgil fights a dude, and then Joxer's too old to fight.
All right, he just kind of stands around
Yeah, get him, boy.
until. Dun,
Oh,
dun.
mommy! Dramatic turnaround.
I love this, like the snap pan. The
Yeah.
camera just like snaps to find Livia. Good, much good camera movement.
Bees. Yeah.
Oh man.
So Livia has Joxer hostage. She's got him by the throat with a knife. Xena goes, Eve. And she goes, I told you my name is Livia.
That was a very good. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like.
she's so petulant. It's
Yes.
so good.
Yeah.
Yes. It's great. I now love it like even more that like she's like a drunk college kid
Yeah.
from a prep school.
Yeah, it kind of ruins it slightly that she's 25.
That's yes. It really
She
does.
seems like a drunk 18-year-old.
Okay, she's like a drunk grad student.
Okay, I mean they do get drunk,
Yeah.
and they're mad. So I like that after her, my name is Livia.
Yeah.
Xena's just like, all right, Livia. She's like trying to talk her
Yeah,
down.
talk her down. Because I mean, she
switches-
has Joxer by the throat.
And like I said, anytime the name switches, it's important. So
Yes.
the fact that Xena, in this moment where she really is doubting whether she can save Eve, does switch names.
Right. So she's gonna kill Joxer. She's ready to do it. And then
Ready.
Xena throws some nails at her.
She
Yes.
nails her.
And Livia deflects them all. And I think that kind of surprised her. Xena, that is. She was like, oh, that was cool.
Pretty cool.
And then Livia throws a dagger at Xena.
Xena catches it.
Yeah.
And Livia's like, oh, that's cool.
And then they fight with swords.
This is an interesting fight when you compare it with the fight later in the episode, because Xena, I mean, isn't exactly giving it her all. That was my sense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
She rolls on some barrels.
Oh my God, I hated
What
that.
the fuck?
Thing. But I love the bit where, like, Livia is just, like, slamming her into this table,
Yeah.
like, over
Yeah.
and over
Yeah,
again.
I mean, she was just taking it. Like, that was what was
Yeah,
happening.
she was taking it.
Yeah.
She didn't want to fight back. Or, I mean,
Right.
just as much as she needed
Yeah.
to get out of the situation, but she wasn't wailing on her.
Yeah.
I do love when Olivia's slamming her into the table, you cut to Ares, like, going, ugh, he can't watch. It's
Right,
so
right.
bad, even he can't watch.
He does so much weird commentary in this
Oh,
episode.
Yeah,
God.
it's a little
Let's-
The whole, well, it's just because, like, I kind of like it in the sense that the episode is so serious, and then he's in, like, this other episode
Yeah.
that's, like, his own episode that he's watching, where he's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm watching, cool stuff, like, fighting.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird considering how emotionally intense that
I
previous
know.
scene was.
Yeah.
Now he's doing this. I mean, this is sort of par for the course with him. He loves his sort of cartoon moments.
No, I don't like it at all.
One interesting thing, though, about him being there sort of as this, like, sport spectator person is that he's always like, yeah, Livia, go Livia. Right. And then you have Xena being like, Eve, listen to your heart, Eve. So there you really hear the difference in what people call her and, you know, bad angel, good angel.
Yeah. Totally. Well, he's like always, I mean, he is literally kind of like filmed like that a lot of the times in this episode where he's like in the back, above.
Watching. Yeah.
So Livia's like, I'm glad you came back. Killing you must be part of my destiny.
Big D.
And then she, like, does this weird sidekick jump thing where you could literally see the stunt person on a rope.
Oh, no.
Like the stunt person grabs the rope and then, like, pulls herself up to jump kick. And then, like, I was like, what is that? Like, that's just in there. That's interesting.
Considering there's a lot of good stunt work
in this episode, was a weird
that's
moment.
A bummer.
Yes. Xena says, no, your destiny is to find a new way beyond the killing. My note just says, you shall be a vegan.
Your note says, you shall be a vegan?
Yes.
That doesn't sound like that was in the episode.
I don't think that was in the episode.
That's pretty funny. That's Eve's ultimate destiny. You're not even that wrong. That is basically what happens for her.
What is it? Really?
I mean, you should, the beyond the killing, that's it. And she's like, shut up, Mom. Let's fight some more.
So then Xena's like, no, listen to your heart. This is, I think, when Xena has a dagger on Eve. Is that what's happening?
Well, they're fighting. This is where she's
Eve
taking...
has the dagger on Xena.
Yeah, this is where she's taking that beating. And I thought this really reminded me of that scene where Faith fights Angel in the Angel episode 5x5, where at the end, like, Angel gives up. He doesn't, like, fight her. And then she's like, I'm bad, I'm evil. Because she's trying to taunt her. And that's where, right here, Livia's like, fight me. And, like, Xena won't do it.
She says, listen to your heart, and Livia says, my heart is a traitor. Again, I think an important line. It's showing you that there is actually a lot of internal conflict here. Yeah. This isn't just, a girl who is committed to violence and evil.
Well, she does swing, okay? So, like, she is gonna kill her right here.
Oh,
That's interesting.
She's ready.
And Xena, so here Xena has to, like, do something. So she kicks her off, and she goes flying. Then a villager jumps down from the roof and has, like, an advantage on Livia. And he's like, die, butcher! Xena chakrams his knife away. And Livia is shocked. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can see that it confuses her that this has happened. That Xena would do this after she literally was about to kill her.
And then she calls for archers, and everybody's like, oh, no, we didn't know this was going to happen. And the village goes up in flame.
Yikes.
Livia escapes.
And now Ares goes in for the emotional kill.
Oh, yeah.
I like whenever he appears in fire.
It always looks better.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It's a good... Yeah, the CGI somehow really works.
It kind of disguises the goofiness of it.
Yeah.
So he's like, how does it feel, Xena, knowing the person you love despises you?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what he's talking about.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's a transparent, angry man. Hurt, angry man.
Yeah, that's all he said, and then he leaves.
Yeah. No, he just kind of has
that little knife in.
Yeah,
and he
just goes in to be like, look what I did. He doesn't quite even take the credit for it, but it's clear that's kind of what's happening. He gloating.
So Xena's like, she doesn't answer him at all, and then that guy that she stopped from the village starts yelling at her, and he's like, well, Livia murdered his wife and his daughter.
Same as that previous village woman.
Right.
Once again, we have another villager.
Yeah, and he's like, what about the next family she kills? Their blood are on your hands.
Pin in it.
Yeah.
Pin in it.
Big pin.
Put a pin in it.
Important.
Callisto.
So then we have Livia Tantrum 2.0. She's destroying her room once again.
Yeah. This is her fave. Trash in the hotel room.
I like that character.
It's a little Kylo Ren, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my God. I gotta go stew on this information for a little while.
Well, she's having feelings and she doesn't know what to do with them, okay? Why wouldn't Xena let that peasant kill her?
I love that Ares kind of, does his usual apparating in, and he's like in, draw me like one of your French girls pose to begin with.
Why is he holding a lemon? What does that symbolize?
Let's make a martini.
That's why we're doing this
So
martini.
good.
Olivia's martini lemon.
And put it in her big flask.
Sorry, I really failed on making these twists, though. I gotta practice that some more. I don't know. It's just
Tastes
very
good to me.
hard to peel a lemon.
It's not. It's like a potato.
I don't know. For me, it was.
You go back to front. You don't go
Well, I
front
did it
to
wrong.
back.
I don't know why Ares is a lemon, though.
Yeah, I was like, is it like make lemonade if you have lemons, that kind of thing?
Oh. I love this moment, though, where Eve, Ares is obviously
He's concerned.
He's number one in the Xena hate brigade. He's
But he's concerned that Livia
not.
is having feelings and conflicting emotions. He's like, oh shit, I gotta stop this.
and they do sort of have this argument where Ares is like, don't worry, Xena's the worst. She hates your guts.
Yeah.
And Livia is basically like, yeah, but
she came all this way. She survived in an ice cave for 25 years to find me.
That line cracked me up. I was like, that's one way of looking at it. Deliberate ice cave.
Yeah, she definitely did that on purpose. He's like, no, she came to destroy you.
Do you feel like this, her introspection is earned already?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so
It was
because
not it's not abrupt?
I
to you?
think she's very confused as to why Xena keeps appearing and saying the same thing over and over, and then also literally stop people from killing Livia.
Yeah.
I think
as
that
a warrior
moment is big. To see, she was literally about to kill Xena, and to have that person turn around and save your life.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cool.
Well, there's
Okay.
something up with that.
I'm just
Where she's maybe starting to be like,
Do you
"Is it?"
disagree, Katie? Do you not feel?
I don't necessarily disagree. No. No, I think that's a
She's not fully there, but she
Right.
is kind of starting to question
I mean, you have to,
things.
and if they're halfway through the episode, at some point she needs to start.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I don't know. At first it felt a little abrupt to me, but then you have to think about it and be like, okay, yeah, this moment really triggered this.
Yeah, I think it's important that these moments are there.
Yeah.
I think people tend to forget they're there when discussing her conversion at the end, which obviously does feel sort of spontaneous. That's
Sure.
divine
It was,
intervention.
yes.
But I do think that you can see in these little moments there's groundwork laid for it. And just this idea, even the intensity of her violent outbursts. It's like she's struggling against something.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Can I circle back to something? This is a little bit, we're beyond this, but I just kind of want to circle back.
Yeah.
I think the viewers and our listeners probably know, but it's worth sort of repeating that textually, the woman who, the villager who screamed, why, and the Nancy Kerrigan why, etc., and then that guy who was his wife and daughter were murdered and he tried to kill Livia. That's textual callbacks to every episode of Callisto that we've seen.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Right, that guy who's a villager who had that backstory in Callisto.
Right.
And then obviously Gabrielle in Return of Callisto.
Well, that's a pin upcoming. But yes.
Upcoming pin. But we have a lot. This episode is full of callbacks. I feel like everything that happens, you can go, oh, it's just X, X, and X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So back to Ares and Livia. She's questioning things, and he's like, who are you going to trust? Are you going to trust this mother that abandoned you, or are you going to trust the god who will make you an empress? And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll trust you.
But she doesn't say that.
No.
She just stands there making a face.
Yeah.
And it's a little concerning. It does not seem like someone who's entirely on board with Ares and his plan anymore.
I don't think anybody should ever be on board with Ares and any of his plans.
Poor Ares.
So, meanwhile, it's nighttime, and we're in Xena's camp. They're planning some stuff, right? So Virgil picks Ostia as this place that they should go to because it has the largest temple of Eli.
Yes.
And he's like, she's going to go there.
And he says it's basically the last of Eli's faithful,
Oh, they're all gathering there.
And basically that Livia and co have wiped out the majority of his followers.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they're all gathering there to pray for a miracle.
Yes.
So it's interesting. Did you know what they were called? Because when I was writing my notes, I was like, oh, it's so it takes a long time to write followers of Eli every time. Doesn't there a smaller word for it? And
Is there?
well, there is. I mean, I
in the
was
show?
calling them, I don't think that's mentioned in the show yet, if anything, but I mean, it was in that interview with George Strait.
Oh, that's right.
But I was calling them, I started calling the elites or the elites. But they're really
I don't know about
called Elysians.
Or Elysians. I don't know. Like Elijah.
Elysian?
That's interesting because I thought
Yeah.
it was like the Elysian Fields.
Oh, I like that version.
Like a weird, because it ties into
Maybe both.
current, like,
Yeah.
huh.
That's what I think they called them in the writer's room. So I don't know if
Elysians or Elysian?
We're not sure how
we
to
don't know how to
pronounce
pronounce it.
Okay.
But it's written like...
Elysians
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
interesting because, like, that, I like that in the sense that it's very Xena-esque to kind of
Yeah.
conflate different
Right, yeah.
modes of thinking about religion.
It's really interesting. This week, I sort of stumbled upon this amazing like Twitter thread of something I didn't know about the Colosseum, which is that for a really long time, before it was cleaned up, like literally, like it was overgrown with all sorts of like various plants and stuff. But there was like a huge, for a really long time, movement, like a Christian movement, where people set up little like shrines and stuff to, I wouldn't say worship, but like pay homage to the Christians who died in the Colosseum.
Oh, wow.
So like you could go and
So
like,
in the abandoned
literally
Colosseum.
in the Colosseum, yeah.
That's really cool.
Isn't
It's
that-
kind of sad they removed those when it became a tourist attraction again.
Well, I think it wasn't about that. It was about reclaiming, kind of like fixing it up to be how it was, and then it became a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fascinating thing. I never thought about that would happen. Like so many early Christians like were martyred there, and people were like, let's worship here at this spot. So I guess Livia did a lot of that killing, just FYI. Pep talk.
Pep Talk, the third of this episode.
Third of this episode, fourth
overall.
Wow.
at minimum.
That's a lot. That's a lot of pep.
You guys should count like all the pep talks throughout the show.
Oh, jeez.
So this one is sad because here it's Gabs being like, I think you were getting through to her. All you need is another chance.
Oh boy.
I mean, she's not wrong. We saw how disturbed she was by that. She is getting through to her.
Yeah, but Xena's like not sure. You know, she's questioning whether like what would happen if she can't get through to Livia.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And she says chances run out for all of us.
Yeah. And then Gabs asks, would you be able to kill your own daughter?
Oof.
You can see how, like, she has this pause before she asks the question where you can see she really has to, like, you know, get those words out.
Yeah.
Like, it takes effort to, like, bring them out.
Because she has done this.
She's done that.
And
She
it's
knows.
all subtext
Remember?
in this episode.
Then there's hope.
It's crazy because it
Yeah.
really is all subtext. They don't mention it in
They don't
this
mention it at all.
episode.
It was going to be in there, though. In the scene.
Oh. Wow.
What does she do? Like, I did it.
Well, she says, could you kill your own daughter? And Xena kind of calls her on it. She's
Yeah.
like, well, you did it.
Okay.
So
I would have.
can
I
do it."
actually.
Oh my god,
would've
that would
loved
have actually been better than what we have.
I
Holy
agree.
shit.
They seem to have changed it while shooting it.
Huh.
So the
Whose
actors
idea?
changed
Oh
it.
my god.
Presumably.
They did.
That would be my assumption if it was there in the shooting script.
Oh my goodness.
I would have liked that.
Yeah.
I would have loved to hear Xena be like, "Well, you did." Oh
Yeah.
man, that's bananas. That would be great. Yeah. But I mean, I do like that it is never called out. I don't know, just because then you are reading into her actions in a way where you're supposed to in a show don't tell kind of way, which is nice.
Yeah, it
for
is
this
nice.
show, which is very, you know, which has a tendency to tell.
And you do feel like hope has kind of become this unspeakable thing between them. Like they do
Pin
not
it.
mention right. They do not mention it. They
Yeah.
pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Even in a moment like this, they pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. I also like. I mean, Xena's line is so loaded that the chances run out.
Yeah.
Like for all of us, like how much is forgivable when and then we're thinking about Xena and you're thinking about Livia and all the things that they've done. You know what I mean? Like when do your chances run out? And you know, especially compounded in this episode that has so much, I guess, like religion in it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, we often talk about that. Like when does redemption happen? You know, when is the scale weighted like in such a way that like you're a good person now. Like, why isn't there a moment like that?
Oh no, it's like the whole show theme.
Yeah.
What's the next scene?
So it goes in the opposite. When are you beyond redemption? When is that no longer possible? When do the scales go the other way?
Well, she says if she had to kill her, she would.
Yeah.
Do we believe her?
I don't know. I kind of don't.
Yeah. I think her actions throughout this episode show...
Well, I think maybe in this
can't do
moment, she's like, yeah, I can. But, like, actually...
She's willing to say it. In a way, if Hope had come out, like, if that had been stated outright, she would have almost had to say, yes, I could, because you did. Like,
right, it was very awkward. And she was like, no.
It's peer pressure. This is daughter killing. Gotta do it.
Oh, shit.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very clear from her actions throughout the episode that she just can't do it. And this, of course, is the one thing that, like, the rift happened because Xena was like, just kill your daughter. How hard could it be?
It's kind of true. That's kind of what she was
literally
like.
what happened. She was like, she's evil. Just kill her. God.
Just throw that baby over that cliff.
It's not complicated. Just kill her. And here she's like, oh shit, I finally get what happened in the rift years later.
Wow.
I mean, oh, jeez.
Because she'd do the exact same thing, clearly. I think if she had a chance to just, like, hide
she would
Livia from the gods, you know, and even if, you know, if Gabs were being like, I'd kill her, that's, like, she would be against Gabs.
Exactly. And I know what people are maybe, like, thinking right now, because I feel like a lot of that stuff gets an unfair shake because Hope is so clearly a demon. But she still have Gabs. Like, you know what I mean? And from Gabrielle's point of view,
and there
she's
are
still her daughter.
Of very little moments of vulnerability from Hope, where you see that Hope really wants Gabrielle's love and attention, you know, these human moments.
Yes.
Like, even though, the show is, like, yelling at us, she bad, she's the worst, she can't be redeemed. Even then, you're like, well... It seems like she really loves Porcupine Monster Baby, you know? It seems like she really loves Gabs. If this person is capable of love, are they ultimate evil, or is there something there you could have actually saved?
Yeah.
Like, and yes, I mean, really, you could, like, lay out everything Eve did, and it's just as bad, if not worse. She also is a freaky... you know, demon baby, or could have been. Yeah. You know, we don't know. She has a weird origin
story, but not clearly.
But she was born good. Remember, they were like, she's good.
Story.
Yeah, look, she's a cute baby, unlike that other one that was also very cute.
They made a point when she was born to be like, she's good.
I mean, yeah, because Eve is the product of two human beings who have like made bad decisions in their lives,
but are human beings.
But are human, and Hope is clearly half devil.
Well, she was technically a product of human and weird angel, and it was a bad touch.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, right. That's the bad touch.
Well,
but she was an angel. She wasn't human. That's the thing. She was like not alive.
Okay, sure.
I think supernatural origin,
but in a good. But that's good. Yeah. It's a good like heavenly versus demonic,
satanic. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I agree, but at the same time, it can be hard to tell those two things apart, especially when you see their actions, Hope's actions versus Eve's actions. Well, they both do unforgivable things, and we're told by the show that one is beyond redemption and one is not, and you kind of just have to live with that.
I guess also don't forget that the whole point of Callisto doing this is so that she could live a life where she's like a nice person.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And look at what has happened.
But you know what? I think you could also look at it as here's you know, she's making all the same mistakes as she made the first time, but maybe this time it's going to be different. Maybe this time people will come for her and believe in her and love her, all the things she missed. And that is what happens. The power of love is able to get through to her. So, I think if she had just gotten some kind of happy, idyllic little life in which, like, she never struggled with these issues, it wouldn't be fair. I think this is the life Callisto had won for herself.
Is this like the wheel? Like, this is karma. This is her working through some of the same stuff.
It has to be.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And this was going to happen for her regardless.
Okay, Virgil, Joxer. While this pep talk with Xena and Gabs is happening, they're having their own scene.
Yeah, this
where
is
they're
actually
like sleeping.
Really nice scene.
yeah, you guys can talk about it.
Okay. Vera's like, I'm done.
Well, there's just, I mean, the basic just is they're having a little campfire, heart to heart, and Joxer finally comes clean that he has been exaggerating and or / lying to Virgil about all of the stories that he told Virgil about, you know, his heroics and exploits, and, you know, basically says everything that I told you was Xena.
Yeah.
And Virgil's reaction is, wow, sounds like you and Xena had some real adventures together, and they hold hands. It's very sweet.
It's very sweet. I love the way it's played. He first just says the wow, and it sounds a little bit like it could be a judgy wow, like, wow. Like, you lied to me about everything. But then the follow-up is this moving, sweet acceptance.
Yep, because he's the perfect man. That's
he
why.
was there.
Vera hates him so much.
Who, Virgil? Well, I mean, Joxer, I mean, I just like that Virgil sees that he was lying, of course, but he was there, and he did do things.
I think this is, you know, we're thinking about this as the end of Joxer's arc, and it's cool to have this moment for Joxer, because he's always been trying to, like, you know, put on, like, he is more impressive than he really is. And, you know, even here, like, 25 years later, he was still doing it with his son. Yeah, and his son is able to just be like, you're amazing. They
already had this moment where Gabs was like they had the same thing.
Well, she was complicit in covering
that was
it up.
Fine. He could have, like, lived his whole life, whatever.
I don't know. I'm glad he gets this moment of honesty.
I mean, it was a really nice,
son.
Yes, it was fine. It was
Vera
good.
hates Virgil
I
so
hate
much.
him so much, you guys.
I just don't think of him.
He's
very
so
much.
unnecessary.
He is too. I mean, I feel like this will be understandable to the majority of listeners. He's just a hot, boring guy who's there.
He was perfect.
He's like, and
he's a perfect
it's great
Joxer.
that he's like, he doesn't really get paired. Like, as much as you complained about how they tried to do a little bit with him and Gabs, like, he's not Riley. He's not Charlie on Winona Earp. Like, but I don't really think about him. He's there.
Not a threat.
He's there.
I feel like he's very threatening
what I mean?
here. And he's taking up scenes. And he has a whole thing here in this episode, which is fine.
In this episode, it's mirroring some stuff from the show.
Yeah, sure.
And I appreciate it here.
I don't know. I would have been cool with, like, let's say if it was, like, their daughter. You
That's
know?
true.
Megan Joxer's older daughter.
I know you'd
who's
always
awesome.
prefer
She's the Smith of
a
the
girl.
town. I love when they have, like, so because, you know, it's fine. And it's just, like, somebody to, like, learn from and whatever.
Sidebar. Up until this point in our podcasting, we have never once talked about how Virgil is hanging out with Xena, who looks like his mom, and he never once comments on that.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Anyway,
so messed up.
That's weird.
It's really messed up.
But fine with him for ignoring it. Okay.
But maybe it's, like, a common knowledge that, like,
Yeah,
Meg
that was part
like,
of the story.
Well, because, like, their whole tavern is made up of
Yeah.
people who look like Meg.
Exactly,
You
like-
know, like his mom. So
Yeah.
he's, like, used to, that's normal for him, maybe.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But he should have even just been like, wow, it's true. Like, or something
Yeah,
like,
exactly like my mom.
Okay,
Anyway.
so, like, they have a whole plan set in motion for this, like, Ostia adventure, and then at the break of dawn, or, like, before dawn, Xena rides off ahead of them all, so she can get there before Livia's forces do.
I love this shot of Gabrielle left behind.
Yeah.
We're beginning to see that something's up with Gabs
Right.
now.
Right.
And this
yeah.
is what I find so beautifully subtextual about this episode with her, and which you don't normally get a lot of. So.
Yeah.
Especially in season
Really
5.
Yeah, especially in season 5. Yeah, I should certainly preface it with that.
Right.
And it's great because she's been, you know, the rock. She's been this steady, supportive friend. Mm-hmm. And, like, now finally we see that, you know, that her own feelings are happening underneath that surface.
Yes, and it's so great that the show doesn't neglect that.
So she wakes Virgil up, and she says that she has something to do, and if she's not back by dawn, then he has to go and find Xena and Ostia, and, like, just like they planned. She said that she's going to try to keep Xena from doing something she'd never forgive herself for. Gabs marches directly to Livia's camp.
Does that mean Gabs never forgave herself for Hope?
Oh,
Yeah, I think it does.
It's hard. It's hard to hear.
It's so sad.
She killed Hope twice.
Twice.
Just putting that out there. She did this twice.
It's yeah. And I mean, it's so good because it's so subtle. It's like, and it just breaks your heart because it hasn't been something that the show has really been talking about for a long time. So to have it,
And then they changed the line so they wouldn't talk about it
Yeah.
some more
I
in
don't
the
know.
show.
Maybe they were a little afraid to go there.
but yeah, just to have it come back this way and to have her be like, I'm gonna do this thing that has a lot of repercussions, because I don't want Xena to experience this situation that I experienced.
Yeah.
It's very moving.
When she shows up in the camp, Olivia's like, Auntie Gabrielle.
Oh, that's so great.
I
That
loved
line.
it.
And this is when she's got a goblet. She's having
She's having a drinkies.
another drinky.
She like walks circles around Gabs, like mocking her, good intentions, because she like guessed why she was there.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that Livia just immediately takes control of this scene. You know, Gabs is coming, being like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do my Gabs thing. I'm going to, you know, she's so good normally at being able to talk sense into people, or
Right.
rather talk emotion into people to really touch them. And Livia's just like so out ahead of her that she
Yeah.
just makes Gabrielle look kind of feeble with this. Like, literally, just she shuts her right up.
And she ends the scene with holding a dagger to her throat.
Well, Gabs says something like, you know, Xena is trying to protect you. She won't fight you. And Livia's like, then I gotta properly motivate her.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dagger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of the fact that Gabs is so bad at this? I thought that was a really interesting... I mean, I know for the plot's sake, she has to be bad at this.
Bad at convincing,
At doing the thing that Gabs used to be so great at, which is...
talking.
talking to people and making them, you know, remember what's good and true. Like, that was, like, literally what Gabs, like, her purpose on the show used to be to do that for Xena. And here she tries to do it for Xena's daughter, and it's such a big fail.
Yeah.
I just think that it's too much, like, to just be confronting Livia like this. Like, it's a big challenge, and I don't think that, you know,
I think she
it
overstepped.
reflects poorly. Well, you think she overstepped?
I think she like thought that she could totally talk her down,
I think-
and then like she couldn't.
I feel like it's not unrealistic that she fails.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
not at
Yeah,
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, it makes me go, oh, you know, what has happened to Gabs, like, in the interim, you know, since she last did this for Xena. Like,
Well, season 5.
Is Gabs bad at this because, you know, she's become this warrior,
Yeah.
and it's harder for her to tell people, like, do what's good and true, because she's less, you know, she doesn't know what's good and true anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's the person that she's talking to is going to be specifically very hard to get through to.
Yes, as she,
You know,
is very
and-
drunk.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean that too. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know that she's so much lost her ability to reason with people via words. Just that this is a huge undertaking, and maybe it was not the best idea.
Yeah, certainly
But-
the strategy she employs is sort of just confront it head on. It's
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah, but you understand where she's coming from and why she wants to try this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if anything, that's what's so shocking about how completely she fails at it, is it's such a brave thing to do.
So meanwhile, Joxer just found out that Virgil let Gabs go off by herself. He's very disappointed and angry.
It was kind of interesting to see this side of Joxer. Usually Joxer fucks up plans, you know? It's funny to hear Joxer be like, that wasn't what we're supposed to do.
Well, I guess like also, you know, Virgil let her go because he's like, she wanted to go. What? And, you know, Joxer, of course, never would have let her done anything like
yeah.
that because he's like overprotective, like love monster.
Oh, I forgot to mention, like, when we were talking about the previous scene with Eve and Livia, like, just that Livia has so clocked what motivates Xena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, she's smart.
She has clocked that shit.
Yeah.
And
so
I love,
hard.
and I do also love that she takes control of the scene, you know, and like gets Gabs too. She reads Gabs,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's a very, very smart person in
Yeah.
this moment.
Right. I think she's smart. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So Joxer is like, all right, you go get Xena, and then I'm gonna go like rescue Gabs. So he does. He does not rescue her, but he goes to the camp where Livia is, and he's in the bushes, and he counts 20 soldiers, and he's like, great, 20 against 1, perfect. That's great.
Oh,
It's very sweet.
Yep.
He plays this all very well. It's not too goofy.
No.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
despite the old man makeup, like
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
is great in this whole arc.
So he witnesses a lot of things. Like he witnesses Livia march Gabs out. They tie her up. And he keeps being like, Xena, where are you? And then you kind of like start getting these intercut scenes of like Xena and Virgil like galloping on their
These
horses.
were confusing to me.
It was like, oh, she's coming, she's coming.
Yeah,
You know?
I was like, where are they in relation to anything? Like
Ostia.
I guess so.
Not at this camp.
Not close enough.
Yeah. So Joxer has to, he's like forced to do something, so he throws a rock at a soldier, and the soldier like comes over, and then Joxer hits him and like steals his clothes.
Yeah.
And he like shows up as this like old man soldier.
Old man soldier. I do love as this is going on, we have the, you need it, but Gabs calls Livia Eve now, and
Yes.
Livia backhands her, and
Yeah.
is like, don't call me Eve. Livia's about to kill Gabs, and old man Joxer soldier.
Yeah, he shows up to do
Just,
like a comedy act,
does a
like
little
he does a
act,
little routine.
But it's not that funny.
It's not funny, but it
thought
does
that-
stall.
Yeah,
you know,
I
it stalls them.
appreciated that it wasn't that funny. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like that was a good choice, that it's just sort of some nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Xena comes, just in time.
Oh, good, mom's here.
I feel so bad for Gabs throughout all this because she's tied up and she can't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
That must be so frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's why this affects her so badly, because it happens right in front of her, and yeah, she's helpless.
Yeah.
It's, think about Xena on the cross. Helpless, crucifixion,
That's true, but like she was like beyond. Nobody was like fighting around her.
Okay.
Her friends weren't.
So we're about to get to a very big scene
Yes.
for the show. So the first thing that happens, so we have Gabs tied up, we have Joxer intervening in a Joxery way. Eve basically wants to kill Gabrielle because she knows that's going to fuck Xena up because she definitely clocked that shit. In this moment, Eve is about to kill Gabrielle. And Xena is going to throw her chakram at Eve. And Joxer stands up and gets in the way of it. Do you think that, like, let's pretend Joxer's not here. Because Eve is about to kill Gabrielle and Xena's going to throw this chakram, do you think she would have killed her in this moment if
Nope.
Joxer didn't intervene? No?
No,
You
because
think she would have let her kill Gabrielle?
No, it was
chakram
it's
the sword out
we
of
were
her
literally
hand.
watched
Okay.
her do
I'm just
this
curious.
a million times.
I just
yeah.
was
curious.
She was gonna do the hand.
Yeah,
the sword.
just
the sword in the
sword.
hand.
Take her hand off, her whole
No,
hand.
but like she could have like the chakram have gone through the sword. And
She's
it would
done
have
it
been
before, she'll do
all-
it
yeah,
again.
this is we literally saw it this episode.
So you're saying Joxer did this for nothing?
I mean, he did this because he had to do it.
Okay.
But
I love this. I
Yeah.
love that you see the framing of it, which is Xena is about to do something bad to Eve. We don't know what exactly to save Gabrielle. And Joxer, to save Gabrielle, jumps up. And you see his like kind of back gets in the way.
And he
head
charges.
gets
And
in
he
the way.
charges
right on
head
in.
on.
right, but Xena didn't think about like 2 steps to the right and then throw it again. You know,
Yeah,
she
or
didn't
throw
think about,
it and have it bounce off some
yeah,
shit.
she didn't think about any of that. She just watched him do it.
It all happened very quickly.
It had,
yeah.
and it had to happen.
So Eve stabs him a lot.
Yeah.
He runs right into there. It's pretty good. There's some gross
Mouth blood.
Mouth
Yeah.
blood. Pretty gross. There's a lot of good screaming from Gabrielle.
Yeah,
Several
no.
no's that are very good.
And struggling against her bonds in this like intense
Yeah.
way.
So frustrating. I just feel so bad for her. You see some very sad Xena face. And then everyone kind of leaves. What?
Yeah, everyone leaves.
Yeah, what
and
happened
they
to the
have
rest of the company?
the whole Roman company.
Livia just wandered off.
they all like left,
That's a little weird.
and they
Little
just
odd.
let them because she was like, "Great, like that hurts because that's your
Yeah.
friend." So
Yeah.
like, and then they just like leave.
So that's enough for now.
Yeah,
enough for
yeah,
now.
I'm gonna go.
that'll do. So
I'll just take off for the time
Yes.
being.
That'll do. Isn't that what Callisto says when she kills Perdiccas?
It's also in
It is.
there you go.
It is.
Actually, well,
To
this is
the
a good.
pig.
This is a yes. That'll do. Pig.
That'll do. I don't know.
You're
What?
right. This is a perfect
That's
opportunity.
what she says when she kills Perdiccas.
Okay, so this is a
She's
perfect
going for
opportunity.
Gabs. Instead, she gets Perdiccas, and she's like, "That'll do."
Wow.
Yes. So perfect time to begin discussing this. Let's unpin the pins. Return of Callisto is a very important episode for this episode.
Yes.
And this starts it off, right? So, like, yes, Joxer is killed, and Virgil takes a step into the Gabrielle storyline of that episode.
Joxer is the purd.
Yep, Joxer is purd.
He's purd. Purd part 2.
Also, this is huge. So, Joxer, let's talk about it. He's about to die. This is the last of Ted or Amy on the show.
He doesn't appear at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they resisted the impulse.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever came
I
back.
don't think so.
Okay.
Or does he appear briefly in, that flashback episode?
Maybe.
Soul possession?
Sure. I don't know.
I try not to remember soul possession.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a big deal. This is huge. And as much as Joxer is a divisive figure in fandom, specifically, and for the show, like, I think that this scene is very well done, and it's very moving. It makes me very sad.
Yeah.
I really love this scene.
Ted has a great story about this scene. He originally had scripted a death speech, a long speech, in which he addressed each character. Xena, it's meant so much to me that you let me fight with you. Gabrielle, I'll always love you. Virgil, my son, etc. And Ted said he did something that, he was like, actors, never do this, which is he cut all his lines himself.
Wow.
He went through that script, cut all the lines, made a couple of suggestions for, like, new lines that, like, he wanted in. He wanted just that sense of just, like, I'm cool, I'm fine, but I'm cold.
I love that, because that's such a great story. I didn't know that, but that is really fabulous, because that, to me, shows how much he knew that character. And I feel like this scene is so Joxery. Like, he's just like, what the fuck? I don't know. Everything's fine. Like, it's just, that's perfect. I think that, like, some big grandiose speeches wouldn't have felt right.
It would have fallen flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is so good. I think the way he plays it, it's one of the death scenes where I, like, kind of believe it. Like, he just on a muscular level, he does a really good job of, like, relaxing his face in this way that I thought was really disturbing and, felt like a death.
Yeah.
I think it really works. I also love the sound design for this moment. You have, like, some sad musics, but then they cut off at the moment that he dies, and you just hear the wind.
The wind.
Yeah, this is important.
I feel like the wind is a huge character in this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Special guest star.
Starting here specifically.
Yes. No, it was a really great moment. So it was like a huge, like, it felt like a really long, like a moment of silence. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing where they let it just breathe.
Yeah. So, okay. So he gets stabbed, etc. Gabs is yelling, no. Crazy, good nose. And then Virgil and Xena run up to him. I love that in this whole scene, Xena has to go rescue Gabrielle from being tied up because she's still just stuck there watching all this, and Xena thinks to go get her to, like, come be a part of the
well, yeah,
that's true. That's a really
weird if she let
Shouldn't
her
we, like, just let her
would be weird.
Well, and
she's
you might
trying
be
to
so caught up in the moment.
Well, it's just strange.
I think that she doesn't do that until she realizes that she can't help Joxer.
Yeah. But she puts
That's
a
true,
pinch on him
she
so that
does.
he doesn't feel pain,
Right,
which is, an important thing to do.
And then so once Gabs runs over, I think it's because Joxer and Gabrielle have kind of had the biggest connection. I don't know what the right word is here. Connection?
Yeah.
In a sense, like, Xena's face throughout the scene is very, I love it. It feels very perfect to me because I know that she considers him her friend, but it also feels like, I don't know, how would you describe her face in this scene?
Good.
Good.
It's always a good
I just know she's, like, resigned to the fact that she can't help, but I feel like
really didn't do anything.
I said subtle. That was my word for it.
But I think that the emotional weight falls on Gabrielle, which is appropriate.
Right.
And she runs over, and she's like, "What were you doing?" Like, and I love that that's her reaction because this technically didn't really need to happen. But
I think that's so perfect for Joxer.
Exactly, I agree.
He gets this big hero moment, but, like, in typical Joxer fashion, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
He just does it.
Yeah.
I think when we originally watched it, we discussed how this technically should have happened to him every episode.
Right.
Yeah.
He makes these bad calls all the time,
Yeah.
and he's never paid for it, and now finally he
Right.
does.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting to think about just like from Xena and Gabrielle's perspective, because it's only been like a handful of days since like this, like, obviously he's an older Joxer, but to them he's still the person that they just
Right.
And his response to Gabrielle is like, what were you doing? Is I didn't want to disappoint you.
Yeah.
And she says, you could never disappoint me.
This is
what do you think? Do you think
sad.
that that's true? Do you think she's saying that? Or to be nice? Do you think that she's
Yeah.
genuine?
I think at this
feels
point,
very genuine.
she knows him and
respects
him.
I
It doesn't
agree.
mean he's not an idiot, but she just really respects, what he's done. And we've, occasionally talked about the way that Joxer's character has evolved over the years, and I think he has become a more serious person. He's had moments of real bravery and responsibility. I think at this point he's earned Gabrielle's respect.
Yeah.
And that's a sincere line.
So then, he's dead now. He does, like, it's a little cheesy, but I don't care. The I'm cold
Aw.
kind of stuff. It's
But
fine.
it could have been
Totally
so
fine.
much cheesier, I think, as
Yeah.
we've talked about.
And then, like, Virgil does the, like, eyelids shutting thing. And there's the beautiful wind, as you already mentioned. And then, like, Xena just gets real mad.
Oh, I love it. She, like, looks off and you just see,
And
you know what she's looking at where Livia was standing.
So here's the thing now, right? So, like, now it's personal for everybody. Virgil previously in the episode, his friends were already dead. She's killed a bajillion people. Now it's a problem. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit self-centered in the end. Like, these other villagers have not been real for Xena.
Right.
But, I mean, like, she's literally going to say in a moment,
Yeah.
like, I never thought it would be my friend. And it's like, so it's okay when Livia kills, like, anonymous extras. Like, that's fine.
All right.
I think that's hard when you're watching a television show to conceptualize these big, like, theoretical, moral things when you're connected to just characters. I think that's important for the whole show.
Well, it's hard because, this whole moral calculus that they keep doing, which is because Xena didn't kill Livia when she had the chance, every person Livia kills, that's, like, on Xena. I mean, I don't know how true that is,
Right, no.
Like, it's on Livia. Like, Livia's responsible
she's
for
But
her
making
own
those
she's
choices.
just literally quoting what Callisto said in the
Right.
Callisto episodes. It's just one of those.
Right, and doesn't that tell you a lot about that way of thinking? Like, Callisto thinks, every person she kills, it's Xena's fault.
Right,
Like, Callisto is mistaken in seeing
Yes.
things that way.
But it helps her function.
It helps her function, and it's clearly, torturing Xena to think of things that
Right.
way, which is why Ares keeps buying into that idea
Right.
that this isn't Livia's responsibility, it's Xena's. And that every time Xena feels, mercy for her daughter, that's her letting people die. I mean, yes, obviously it is. Like, she could have killed her sooner, and that would have spared Joxer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is Xena's responsibility. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, indirect responsibility, like, how do you weight that? How do you quantify that?
Well, that's
Pin that shit.
the journey of our main characters in all of our shows.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's also, the hypocrisy, which, like, I don't know, how do you guys feel that Xena can't kill Livia when Gabrielle could kill Hope? Like, what does that mean that, like, for these two women, that in the end is a line that one is able to cross and the other isn't?
I think
Is it because one was a straight up demon
we
baby?
talked
and the
about
other
this.
one-
hate it.
Liv, we talked about this.
No, but, like, in terms of
She's
this
good.
question of moral
I know.
responsibility, you could hate Xena watching this episode. You could be like, Xena, you weakling. Like,
That's
just do what
awesome.
needs to be done.
No, it doesn't need to be done. This is a clear redemption arc, and the other one was a clear demon.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's a
that's true.
thing.
But what I do like about the subtlety of Gabrielle's arc is that, like, she knows the toll that it will take, and she wants to stop her from doing that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows it's actually not a good idea, even if it's for the greater good. She knows it will destroy Xena.
yeah.
And
Meanwhile,
she doesn't want that.
Meanwhile, they like put Joxer in like a bush.
yeah, they put him in the bush.
And they put like one frond on top
yeah,
of him.
they cover him with a leaf.
And then like he's never to be seen again.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's pretty intense. All this happens within the space of a few minutes.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Xena's like, Virgil, you better just take him to Meg and like leave this series.
She says he would do that for us, which I thought was.
I mean, he tried.
He did try.
Yeah, they
Fallen
had
Angel.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Virgil's like, no, I'm gonna do revenge, and then I'll do it. But they still
Revenge,
put him.
huh?
Yes. So he goes. Honestly, like Virgil. Wow, you know I have my feelings about him already, but like, I thought here he was like a little bit of a dick to Xena. Like
think?
in a. Well, he said this line that really pissed me off.
You
the
have
line?
my respect because you
he
had his.
And I think that's bullshit because number one, Xena's like a super famous, awesome lady that he knows all about because there's an entire
Because Joxer
tavern.
respects him.
Well, there's an
Her.
entire tavern, but she's famous. Like, can you imagine if like if President Kennedy came up to
What?
you and you're like, that's a lot of people respected this dude.
Yes.
He had his faults, but like he was like a good dude.
What
He
is
was,
this
like, famous.
hypothetical President Kennedy?
He's like a dead person, and then he like if he came back to life,
I
and you're like the
see.
people from the previous generation respected him,
And that's
it
why
was, like,
you
a
respect him. That's
and
true.
So, but that's not like you should respect him because like like he's like this grandiose personality, and he shouldn't be like my dad liked you, so like whatever. I've been putting up with you
I
these
like
last
that
few
line.
episodes.
I thought, I mean, he's really mad. He's pissed off.
He
should
is
be.
mad, but like okay. He has literally seen her in action. Seeing her in action would make you respect her.
True.
But he doesn't respect her for trying to send him away. In this moment, he doesn't respect her.
But he thought it was fine to put his dead father in a bush with a leaf over him. He thought that was okay.
Listen, I might have had a lot of gin, but constantly, every time I think about this, I get like, I don't know, it makes me laugh and it's so sad because I have never been a Joxer hater. I've always kind of defended Joxer and loved Ted Raimi. So for this to be the last of Joxer, where he's just like covered in one frond and left in a bush, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
That just makes me sad on a lot of levels.
They're definitely going to go back for him.
I mean, sure.
We
Virgil
don't
will.
see that.
We don't see that, but
You don't
we know
see
it
it.
must happen.
Virgil will, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he goes and he like robs Starks a little tiny bit.
Okay, yeah.
I love this. I love that we always need somebody fighting a tree because they're
Right.
so sad.
I
This
mean-
has happened how many times on the show?
Virgil is
It's
punching
been
a
3
tree.
times.
At least
two
three
good
other
times,
times.
one an okay time.
What was the okay one?
Virgil?
Okay, but Gabs had 3.
She had 3?
She has fought a tree 3 whole times.
Wait, are you counting like the first one where she's like practicing?
No.
Like, oh,
The
okay.
first time was Greater Good. The second time was Return of the Callisto.
Okay, what's the third
The
time?
third time was very recently in Seas of Faith.
Wow, the cool looking tree.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Those
yes.
are
Okay,
Three
so
tree fights.
3 amazing tree fights and then one okay one by
Yeah.
Virgil.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
He just
Gabs
does like a
gets all the
pun-
good
Yeah,
ones.
of course, because she's important.
But this
Yeah.
is cool that they let Virgil have this moment because it does
Again, it's important.
It's so intensely a Gabs thing.
Well, it's just he's playing a very specific part, and he's playing the part of Gabs in Return of Callisto, and this is
Exactly.
the point.
And you
of
always
this.
need a character like this, the innocent character who's drawn into the cycle of violence.
Right.
Livia's already deep in there, so you need a real innocent.
Yes.
That's Virgil.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's a beautiful parallel to, like, and literally visually within the series, just having them fight this tree
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're so sad.
Okay, so things happen in this scene that I think are interesting.
I like the filmmaking of it. I
Okay,
like
for-
the rack focus to
Yeah.
Gabs.
For starters, though, I have to say that I think that Gabs kind of slides into the background in a way that is a little bit funny.
You're right.
She
Slides
kind of, it's
into
like she's,
DMs.
as if she's on a
Slide it into
conveyor
the
belt. Like
DMs.
he's fighting the tree, he's hitting the tree, he's very upset.
He hit it
and
once.
You
That's
see
why it's
her
okay.
kind of like just conveyor belt into
Yeah.
the scene.
She's like, I gotta be here now.
With a really good rack focus.
I think it's interesting. We find out that Virgil is a Elysian.
This was such a bombshell to me. I did not understand this until this moment. So that
Yes.
means that Joxer and Meg are also Elysians?
I bet you Joxer maybe.
Because he was friends with Gabs, who was.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know that maybe Meg went along with it, but I don't know that she.
I think
fully
Meg is
embraced it.
atheist.
Yeah.
She
That's
seems
right.
pretty atheistic.
Yeah, I think she was, yeah.
Which is weird in a universe where you can literally see the gods, but whatever. You can carry on.
Yeah, so that was an interesting thing. And then, of course, he has like this big scene, and it's like a big old close up on him, and he is doing acting. And you know, it's acting.
There's a lot of snot.
That's how you know it's acting when there is snot.
That's some
in your
Viola
cry scene.
Davis acting.
Viola Davis. You got some Sarah Paulson in there. It's all happening, and that's how you know you're a real actor. Yeah.
I did think this scene was interesting because here again, this reminded me of Gab's previous big emotional scene with Livia, where she comes in and actually doesn't do a great job of like getting through to someone emotionally. No. So like he's all like, "Is this what it's like to like follow Eli?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, it's hard. It's a hard path." You know? And he's like, you know, on a vengeance spiral, and she's just kind of like, you know, "I'm sorry you're feeling that way." Even though she has literally been through this exact situation and probably could have real advice. But she's just, I don't know. I mean, this makes me wish season 5 had been put together in a way where you could find the character in this moment and actually understand why she isn't able to do the things that used to be so easy for her.
Would you have liked this scene if she was like, "I was in your spot hitting a tree once," and like talked about
3 times.
Talked about, well, she would have talked only specifically about Return of Callisto and Pearl.
Right.
Like she literally would have brought it up. And do you think she would have like would you have liked that scene more if she talked about that versus like what Eli wants?
I mean, I feel like this is a trick question, and you're gonna be like, "No, she shouldn't have done that because it would give Virgil more screen time." And we're against that.
She would have had that close up on that story.
I mean, I do think it's odd that considering how closely this mirrors things her character has gone through, she seems. I mean, maybe she's just past being able to identify with it, or even just to help him. She knows that she can't help him. That may be the real reason why what she says in this scene has this kind of weariness, where she's just kind of like, you know, he's going to make mistakes, and I'm just going to let him do that.
Is it like strike 2 against Gabs for this episode, where this is like a second time Gabs could have had a scene about herself, and they chose not to make it textual?
I think that's worth floating out there, that maybe the writers are deliberately like pulling back on. But it's weird because
they're 100% aware of what they're doing in this episode.
It's so obviously there.
It's just it's fascinating.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, Gabs' final words of advice are, you have to ask yourself, is that what Eli would want? It's so not enough. It's like she's just like, WWJD, man, and then leaves the scene. Not helpful.
Well, he's like, who cares? Must kill. Vengeance. Oh, you can do that in the quote.
Vengeance for me, Papa.
Literally,
it works.
We're gonna have to like post a clip of that.
I know.
Simpsons, and the amount of times they randomly bring that
It
up.
is weird how it comes up. And also it's Vendetta.
Yeah.
Vendetta for me, Papa.
Is it about Sideshow Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is about Sideshow Bob.
So,
anyway.
Ares shows up to John Cena.
What?
John Cena?
I said to taunt Cena.
I really heard Ares shows up to John Cena.
I too heard that.
I said to taunt Cena.
Oh, no.
Should this be cut out?
No, absolutely not.
It's great.
You must leave it in. Both Olivia and I heard Vera say that Ares shows up to John Cena.
No. To taunt her. And he says
does.
things like, Virgil's anger should be focused on you, Xena. Joxer's dead because the thought of my baby made you grossed out.
This is nuts. He basically is like, Joxer's dead because you wouldn't fuck me.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is what happens when you take this moral calculus to its furthest extent. It becomes ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know, like that. One of these things does not equal the other.
Yeah.
She is not responsible. If I sicken your soul, stopping Livia will kill it.
Yeah.
He says, which is quite a line. Yeah. This is, again, unforgivable Ares moments. I know we're setting up some stuff down the line, but this, I mean, it's hard to see how the character was going to come back from this. This is quite a dark place for him.
So Gabs walks over for another pep talk, and this is a new kind of approach.
Pep talk the fifth.
Pep
This
talk the
is
fifth.
I guess it is a pep talk still.
It is.
However, she has 180'd.
Yeah, this is a new approach.
And Xena
Very
goes,
new.
So here's that kind of moment where I struggle with a little bit of the hypocrisy, maybe is the right word, where Xena, in very beautifully delivered line, I never thought it would be my friend. Like, I never thought that my daughter would kill my friend, basically. However, she's killed a ton of people. She's killed Virgil's friends. And in this scene, Gabrielle's like, fuck everything I've ever said in my previous 100 pep talks. And it's kind of sad because I'm just curious, like, at what point in Xena's head is like everything is bad, because now for both of these characters, everything sucks. However, when it wasn't personal, maybe it could still be okay.
Right.
Definitely some hypocrisy.
What's the morality there?
Yep.
Yeah.
The greater good here is less important than the selfish good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. And even, I have total sympathy for Xena not being able to kill Livia. But in the end, she is very much betraying her philosophy. Which was that you have to make these hard choices. She is unable to make this choice. I think it's important that even here in this scene where Gabs is like, kill your daughter, Xena's like, well, I'm going to go pray about it. She's not like, yeah, I'm going to do it. She literally never makes up her mind to do it. She can't bear to do it. And I don't know, I admit to being a little shocked that Gabs would do this 180. I don't know how I feel about it.
Interesting.
I'm not sure it's in character.
Do you think it's just like the heat of the moment where Joxer is dead?
I mean, I think that's
dead,
the charitable way of looking at it, that she's just like put up with so much and she's given so many pep talks.
Yeah.
And this is where she's left with. Yeah. It sucks.
And also, like, the underlying things, like, I had to kill my daughter.
Yeah.
I feel like that is there.
The same
it's
pain.
like, okay, you're at the place where this is spawn of Satan, and you have to take care of it the same way you made me take care of this.
Right.
I think that is there. I sort of wish in a slightly longer, more nuanced episode that you could have that sense of, a moment of moral weakness from Gabrielle. I'm not really sure what the episode is trying to tell us with this 180. Like, what does this mean for Gabrielle's character?
Exactly, because in this scene, basically what she's saying is, I went and talked to Eve. I found out when I went to confront her, and she basically used me to get to you.
She was drunk at 11 a.m., Xena. You gotta
and
murder
it wasn't
her.
even brunch time.
I mean, she was basically like, figured out that Livia doesn't care. And again, we have the thematic use of naming, which is the big deal with these two episodes, Livia and Eve. And Xena calls Gabs out on calling Eve Livia, because in this moment, Gabs is like, I went to talk to her. It didn't work. She doesn't give a shit about anything. I just watched her kill my friend. This is fucked. She's irredeemable, basically.
Yeah,
She's
Eve
Rome's
is
daughter.
dead.
Yeah, she's Rome's daughter.
Yeah. So now it becomes, for Xena, about avenging Eve and the person that could have been.
Well, I mean, we're hitting my favorite scene of maybe, like, the whole show. One of them.
The whole show.
One of them. It's
Nice.
it's one of the most beautiful scenes, I thought.
It's
no?
pretty
Yes,
spectacular.
absolutely. Me too. Yes. You're talking about the tree and the praying?
Yeah.
I also think
I
this is
agree.
one of Lucy's best acted
Yeah.
scenes in the whole show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really wonderful.
So, the film Gladiator, coincidentally,
There's no wheat here, Vera.
well, it's like a grass field,
Like
which
a
really
gold,
it's a
a
golden
wheat-colored grass.
So if Bees was like had a bigger budget, I think he would have had like maybe a moving camera through the grass. So it would have been very similar to a very famous shot from Gladiator.
Did Xena do it first?
So Xena, okay, no, they did not.
Well, they didn't do it. Which is what you're
Did
saying.
Xena not do it first?
It did not do it first, unfortunately. But it was so close, you guys. Gladiator came out May 5th, 2000. And this episode aired May 8th. That's fucked
by
up,
3
right?
days.
Yeah, so close.
Ooh.
But it really reminded me of Gladiator because of just like the imagery of that. That was a very special. This is a very special scene. Lots of things to talk about. Xena goes to have a moment of prayer. I mean, like this is kind of the closest thing she ever comes to. What is this, the second time we've seen this? Third. What was the first time?
First time is Return of Callisto.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What was the second time?
The Way.
Yes.
Okay, so this is really like supposed to make you think of Return of Callisto, obviously, where Return of Callisto, like she was praying so that Gabs wouldn't go off and kill Callisto. Here she was like at the end of her rope there, you know, like she's at
Didn't she pray in chakram too? Maybe it doesn't count.
Nothing in chakram counts.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here she's like, again, she's at the end of a certain, like, I don't know. She just is very lost.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what to do.
I mean, she lost her best pep talker.
Yeah, she's got nothing. So I thought it was really fascinating. I thought this episode was really biblical in many ways. And I thought it was really fascinating that they filmed this scene in front of that one tree, their favorite tree from Altered States.
Fave tree.
A very important episode for
Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah, our favorite.
It's sort of the story we're telling here. Can Xena ever sacrifice her child?
Right, yes.
That's a great parallel.
Yeah, so she takes a knee and says some amazing lines.
Okay, so Xena says, I'm having a little trouble understanding your message to Eli. She's praying specifically to Eli this time. I am a warrior. I have a warrior's heart. And yet you told me to fight my enemies with compassion. Now I find I have to kill my daughter, my own flesh and blood. Is this what you meant when you said love my enemy? Ouch. Then finally her plea, show me another way.
This is such a beautiful scene. Number one, again, we will mention, this is another scene where the wind is like, such good value.
Well, before that, right, you have, every time she delivers some of these lines, you have a Eli reaction shot, but not really, right? You have like this wide valley, like really, like just still, like nothing is like answering her really, right?
Exactly.
And then the second time,
the
sky. And then finally, like her last line is, where's your infinite love?
Yeah.
And you go back to the wide shot of her under that tree, in that grass.
Crying.
It just seems so abandoned.
Yeah. And then you hear like the wind rises in the soundtrack. And again, moment of silence, just the wind answering her.
And she just feels so alone. Like she's not getting an answer right now from any of this. It's just so beautifully performed by Lucy. I don't know, just the scene is, I agree with you. It's definitely one of my favorites in the whole show.
So powerful. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better. Like, it's the best we've ever seen of this particular thing. It is fascinating that in the previous one, she was just like kind of praying to the universe, you know? And like now specifically directed to Eli.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the journey that Xena's gone on, I think, from like not being sure what God to pray to. Now she's picked a God. This is as close to a conversion for Xena as we will see.
I mean, she's still sort of fighting it, but like, you know, she's trying. I mean, she's trying everything, really. So it was just gorgeous. It was just so gorgeous.
So gorgeous.
I love when Xena's put in this place where she's not in charge. There's so many episodes where she's just so in charge, knows everything to do. And I like when she's not, you know? She doesn't know what to do. So this great scene is followed by a really, I thought, a good scene for Livia, too. It's just a silent moment.
Also in the gladiator field.
Yeah, and she's staring and looking at at Ostia and then the temple of Eli. You see, she's about to go and do her murders. So Livia enters the temple and observes the various kind of parishioners praying, right?
And we get the banners.
Oh, right, yeah. So this is like a big old temple to Eli. And how do we know it's Eli? It's basically like the Jesus fish.
Yeah. The symbol, there's the banners outside. And what is the actual pronunciation of that? I totally forget.
I think it's ichthys.
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 So there's the banners that were basically a secret communication to followers of Christ back in the day that the show has adopted for Eli as the sort of Jesus stand-in for the show. I'm not exactly sure what the writing in the middle is.
Squiggle.
If anybody knows, let us know. But yeah, so it's supposed to be a secret signal. So anyway, Livia walks into this temple, sees...
And the reason it would be a secret is because Christians were being...
Persecuted
by Romans.
By fucking Livia.
Yes, exactly.
What the hell?
Exactly.
And she sees all these people kind of bent over in prayer in robes. And
green robes. I don't know if
fish green.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't like a color associated with him before, right?
Eli wore some green, didn't he?
Gabs wore green.
Oh, Gabs definitely wore some green back in the day.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, the sheep are all here.
Yeah.
And I think that it's fairly clear that maybe this is a trap.
We've definitely
We've had this trick
a few times.
Literally from like Xena, I think. Yeah. So I mean that makes sense.
Callisto, right? Callisto says she's gonna go kill some
the priestess. Yeah, the oracle,
lady.
and the melon.
Yeah.
She throws the chakram in the melon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've done this.
Okay, great. So there you go. So Livia, right, observes all the sheep, and she's like, "Aren't you afraid of me? You think Eli's gonna save you?" And then one sheep stands up,
and she's like, "Bah!"
It's Xena! Oh my gosh, she draws her sword.
It's a really cool moment. I feel like this was a badass disrobing.
I have to say, it's like that thing, like, you mentioned that episode of like Callisto, like, yes, it's exactly the same thing. So when you put a little, like, it's not a robe, but it's like a shroud or something over, it always looks like Hunchback, 'cause, like, the sword is always sticking out from the back.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, like, that happened to Callisto there, and it's happening to Xena here, and it looks kind of funny. But she is done talking, and then she calls Eve Livia.
It's a big moment.
Yeah.
Xena calls Eve Livia.
So Eve is dead, and Xena's there to avenge her. Mm-hmm. And they fight.
There's a great close-up of Xena here. Just, like, death in her eyes. Like, it's a scary close-up.
This is a big deal. This scene is big. So one of the really, 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 really big moments here... For the show, really.
This is one of my favorite moments in the whole show.
Yeah.
It's kind of unexpected. I remember seeing it the first time, and it, like, just totally...
We gasped so hard.
I just, like, then immediately had to go back and watch it, like, 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Because that kind of, like, blindsiding of a moment. Like, it is so badass.
It's so symbolic, like, in so many different ways. So what happens is that Xena throws her chakram, right? That's her number one thing. She always throws it. She throws it right at Livia. Livia puts up her sword, and it splits the chakram. But then what's she do? She catches both halves.
And drops the sword.
Yeah.
All in a single motion.
Yeah. It's
amazing.
It's so amazing. It also sparks. Like, it sparks and they put it in her eyes. But, like, that's such a symbolic moment, right? This chakram splits in two. And it's, like, the two halves of Livia. Mm-hmm. And as we know, there's only... a few people who can catch Xena's chakram.
Callisto.
Her dad is one of them. And yeah, so she inherits that skill from her mom and dad.
It's really powerful. Yeah. And I you know, you forget that, like, this new chakram, it's only been here for this season. Yeah. It's cool that they finally found kind of a badass way to use it. We haven't really seen this from the chakram. It can split in two.
So cool.
So finally they really, like, stage a whole fight around the fact that it can be split like that.
Yeah. Nobody's really, this is the first time it's really used in, like, this important sort of way.
And like you say, it's, like, so symbolic.
Yeah, so Livia has both halves. She throws one half, it goes into the wall. And she keeps the other half.
Meanwhile, Ares is watching all this. As we said, he loves to watch this episode. I thought his just, like, sitting on this shelf.
He's
like,
elf on the shelf.
He's elf on the shelf for this fight. He's like, his legs are dangling like a toddler's beside the pool. Like, it is such a hilarious image. And he's, like, clapping and whooping and going, "Who's my girl?"
Well, this is the moment where I was like, shut up. Like, he really ruined that moment. It went from, like, the most dramatic thing, like, shocking, like, to him being like, yeah, like at a fucking sports bar.
He did not ruin it. That moment is unruinable. It is just incredible. Incredible stuff. Go, Mark Beesley.
Oh, my God. So, I mean, we cut to like the other kind of like fights that are happening. You have Virgil, he kills that general dude.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a moment because it's a very brutal killing. He's also
Yeah,
saving
he's, like,
Gabs.
he's
Like,
covered
this
in
general
blood.
has Gabs. Like, the
Gabs
general
gets thrown around.
She gets thrown into this like
Table.
stone table,
Yeah.
and it like cracks under her. That's how ripped Gabs is. That like she cracks stone.
And it's in slow-mo, that
It's
shot. that
hardcore
stunt.
looking. But yeah, then
Yeah.
she's in trouble. And Virgil does actually save her by doing this, but you can tell it's like he's having a little too much fun with this murdering. It's an
Yeah.
ominous moment.
Right. And then, so then and then Livia and Xena, man, they're having a time, right? So that's where they start flying around on these banners. There's a moment.
Vera, how do you feel about this?
I hate that part. I love the part where Olivia slams Xena's head against the wall a gazillion times.
It's upsetting.
That's pretty awesome.
I really like the wide shots. I just thought it had such a, like, it almost felt like a dance because you could see all the rumbling down below, like everybody fighting down there. And then you had Xena and Livia kind of leaping and flying above it. It was I thought it was really beautiful. Just the fact that, like, stunt-wise, they had all of that action going on simultaneously in shots is so cool.
I mean, I loved their previous fights of just like their swords and their just like normal fights.
You like the intimate fighting.
So, but it's interesting that, the last time we've seen Xena sort of like flying around fighting with
Callisto.
On the
no.
ladders.
Yeah, and then whatever the next
I was gonna say
one was.
Lama because it's like nice, like
That's with the banners.
With the banners,
It does
yeah.
recall Lama a little bit.
Yeah.
It's an interesting parallel.
it's like a stretch parallel.
They each at this point have half the
Yes.
chakram, which is
Yes.
again really
So
cool,
awesome.
meaningful use of the
Yes.
chakram that it's split between mother and daughter.
And it's interesting that no one ever, besides Livia, has tried to grab the chakram. Like whenever it's like stuck somewhere, like no one's like, oh, let me try.
Probably can't get it out.
Yeah, it's like the sword in the
sword-
stone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Xena kind of finally overwhelms Livia, right?
Yeah,
Kinda, like kicks her into one of the banners, and she like rips
She has
it.
to like fall, but like rips it, like breaking her fall, and Xena's standing over her. She grabs her kind of like with the chakram by the throat,
Yeah.
and Livia starts baiting her.
Yeah.
Come on, mother, do it.
So Xena raises her hand, right? She's gonna strike. Abraham raises the knife.
Because of the tree earlier.
But she can't do it again
She
because
can't
she
do
literally
it,
can
yeah.
never do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she lets Livia get the better of her.
Right? And the tide switches. Now Livia has Xena by the throat with a chakram, and she says, Ares was right, you're weak. And Xena answers with a prayer.
Yeah.
Eli, save my daughter. I couldn't. So she closes her eyes at this point, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think first she looks to Livia and says, "I love you,"
Oh.
Those are the magic words.
with sad eyebrows.
Oh, no.
The eyebrows are doing a lot.
Actually, she closes her eyes, and then after the prayer, and then that's when
And
she
they
says,
open,
I love you.
and then the sad eyebrows go up.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sad eyebrows are the cue. I feel like that's when Eli's like, "I have a sad eyebrow alarm going on."
Yeah, and then Livia, like, with that I love you, Livia's like, fuck this noise. And she raises her arm and, like, to strike, right? So this is, she now takes the place of Abraham.
Yeah, she's sacrificing her own mother.
Right.
And she'll do it.
She is gonna do it. But then, as the arm comes down, the beam of love from Eli hits her.
Ex Machina.
Eli ex machina. So
We get his
have,
music back from the India arc.
Right. It's the Eli theme.
And yeah, how would you describe how people look underneath the spotlight? There's a Photoshop filter situation.
Beatific. Yeah, you have like
little sparkles.
Like a soft blur, kind of like dissolve, but also like you have like the little particles flying around, like from Stranger Things, but not like evil. They're like good particles.
Good particles, okay.
Yeah. And Livia watches a sizzle reel of baby Eve.
Yeah, this is funny. She watches the sizzle reel of season 5 that makes her love life again.
Yeah.
How does that work?
We laugh, but it's very
good.
sweet.
I like it. Especially I love for the beginning where they do like reaction shots of her, like it's like quick cuts from her to Callisto Angel.
Yes.
To her to Callisto Angel. To her to Callisto Angel.
She sees everything. She sees Callisto impregnating Xena. She sees her own birth.
Yeah.
She hears Xena singing her lullabies and talking to her as a baby.
The number one hit, Hush Now, My Little One.
Yes. Which
she sees her grandma, Cyrene.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. She sees cute moments. She sees a dramatic moment of them running away from the gods.
Yeah, that's a cool moment. Especially because the baby looks like she's having a lot of fun.
In the baby backpack.
Yeah, in the baby backpack. Like the baby's like, wee, adventures.
Aww.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's like not wrong. Like she sees all the things that Xena's been saying to her.
She experiences
like literally.
it.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of fans online being skeptical of this, being like, would seeing me as a baby, like seeing my mom give birth to me, like make me love my mom? And I don't know. I think, this is a character who presumably has sort of lived a loveless life, and she's being confronted with she was loved. As a baby, she was loved.
You brought up a really interesting point. Like, is it not just seeing? Is it her experiencing it?
I think she's feeling it. I think I don't think it's just like I'm sitting in a movie theater watching a movie.
It looks that way. It looks like that's all she's doing is just she's watching the sizzle reel. But like what you're saying is that if she's because Xena, she could be watching it, but she lived that, so she did experience all of that because she's also watching it. And,
the shots of her are amazing.
Yeah, they're beautiful. But like I think it would make more sense for Livia to do the switch if she experiences all that in that moment. And I think that works.
It's one thing to be told, by your mom, oh, I loved you. It's another to experience, those early moments of your life.
I think it's being just injected into her. She's feeling this deeply.
So after the beam of light kind of leaves them, she starts being like, what have I done? Which,
Did you not like that line?
That's
I admit to having laughed at it the most recent
Wait.
time
Was that better than the spine?
It's definitely better than the spine because I don't disagree with the writing of the line. I think it's more it's just like such a transcendent moment that the fact that it kind of gets boiled down to what have I done? It's inadequate. But what would be adequate? When you've just been confronted by this and you've gone on such a rampage.
Maybe
and
don't say anything, but you
have to. No, I liked whatever happened to Callisto. There you go. She did it right.
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly what happened to Callisto, huh? I'm glad they showed the touch there because it reminds you of The Good Touch.
Yeah.
Where Callisto did have this abrupt turnaround, which was unnerving to us as viewers.
No, that was so good.
This one is slightly less unnerving, but it's still unnerving. She really gets a personality transplant after this, as we'll see next episode.
Right, yeah.
It's complicated. But certainly I find this moment so powerful. Again, I saw fans who sort of didn't care for just the abruptness of this as a redemption, comparing it to Xena's and how that obviously was like a process.
Yes.
Here it really is like a switch flicking.
Xena did not have divine intervention. In fact, Xena chose it herself.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like the difference. I like that you're actually showing these different kinds of redemptions, of turnarounds. You know, for Xena, it's a process. For Eve, it's this more biblical kind of, you know, Saul to Paul. Like she has a revelation that her mother loved her.
Right, yeah.
Like,
and for Callisto, it was a gift.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these are just three different pictures of like how these kinds of moments can happen for people. And I don't think it's like not honest. I think, you know, there's a reason why this is so common in religion, this idea of having a revelation, a bolt of understanding. Mm-hmm. I think that's what happens for Livia. And of course, part of why that happens is because, you know, we've seen it building up in her. We've seen her conflicted, the alcoholism.
Did this cure it?
Yeah. I mean, not really. It seems worse right here.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I do. I feel it's motivated. And I mean, I'm going to have issues with some of the choices that the writers make after this point with Eve. But I personally don't mind that she experiences redemption in a single moment. I think it's interesting.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, I think it's great too because we've never seen anything like this. So that's why I was like, I'm glad this is kind of like this way.
Yeah, it's very Christian.
It
She's
makes sense.
saved.
Yes, exactly. So Xena feels that like something has happened, and she starts calling Livia a bunch, right? But Livia is kind of just like staring and is slow
She's
to
traumatized now.
to respond. Yeah.
I mean, that's what's wonderful is this like amazing thing happens.
Yeah.
Like, what's the immediate result?
Yeah.
Poor traumatized girl who just realized how many people she's murdered.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
Ah.
Wow.
So blood-covered Virgil sees this is his moment, right, to attack.
He's very mad.
And he comes at her.
He has like that blood like coming out down from his eye. Like,
Yeah,
the
it's
way
like on half his
smeared,
face.
He reminded me of a zombie or something. I did not like it.
You don't like
I
zombies.
did not like.
Xena stops him, of course. And he's like, I had her. Why'd you stop me? Why?
And he like breaks up the moment between Xena and Eve. You see like the way Xena's holding her hand, that they like have a moment to talk, but you can't tell what's being said.
Yeah.
That's really
That's cool, right?
I like
Great
how
choice.
that is. Yeah.
So then Xena runs outside chasing after Eve.
While Virgil's like, why? Nancy Kerrigan, why?
And then Gabs runs out after Xena. And she's like, Xena, what happened? And Xena goes, I think Eli's followers got that miracle they were praying for. Is she including herself?
I don't know. Is she? Because
She prayed
she's
for
the
one.
that-
She prayed to him.
She
so
prayed
therefore,
twice.
Yeah.
She's the only one we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Well,
Right,
yeah.
we heard they were going to pray for a miracle, but then they were all sent away on vacation.
Well, we found
the
out that...
only Eli follower who prayed in this temple for a miracle was
You're
Xena.
right. You're right. Yeah, everyone else there who was like, hiding and then fighting, they were like Augustus's people.
Right, we have
find
some
out.
extra political stuff that Augustus obviously is mad that Livia is
Yeah.
trying to depose him.
Yeah. So that's interesting that, she's like talking about herself right there.
Yeah.
So Gabs is like, what did she say to you? And Xena's response, and the last line of the episode is, she said her name was Eve.
Oh.
That's moving!
I have
Good.
a feel even now.
I have a feel too!
The look on Xena's face here,
Beautiful.
there's just,
That's a big deal.
Honestly, to me, she looks like a religious painting.
Yeah.
Like those feelings.
And this is like an episode with a lot of religious
She's a
paintings.
believer now. I feel like you see that in her face. She's seen something.
Yeah.
And she's so happy and so relieved. Still very shocked, but like...
It's good.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I mean, there've been, like I said, so many tears shed in this episode, and each one feels very different and meaningful in its own way, and this one most of all.
Yeah. Well, I really loved this episode. I loved how it used Callisto in the fact that it called back to Return of Callisto, like regular Callisto, just... So much of that is important to play out through Livia, and they did a really good job without being overt, you know?
I really love they didn't call it out too much explicitly.
Yeah.
They mentioned the character a few times, but they actually tend to mention it in ways that don't refer specifically to Eve and Livia.
Yeah, but I think, the viewers of the show would have picked up on it.
I would hope so,
obviously.
especially with Adrienne Wilkinson doing that pretty
God.
amazing Hudson-like impression.
Yeah, she's so perfect as, both of them. It's just so great, yeah. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it's great.
A+?
Yeah, sort of.
For, the second
maybe
to last?
an A. I mean, there's still issues with it, like
Yeah.
we've talked about, mostly with Gabrielle. Yeah.
And I think it's all part and parcel of season 5 just being a little messy,
But it's, very, it's very good.
Yeah,
and
especially for
absolutely.
season 5.
Considering how awful things got in season 5, and I often say this about
Yeah.
TV, it is so hard to right a ship once it's off course. Like season 5 went so far off course. Like
Yeah.
things were really bad. Those 10/maybe 100,000
man.
Chinese people who were murdered. That's shark jump territory. That's really dangerous for a show. Like, how do you come back from that?
Yeah.
It hasn't come back, I think, 100%, but I think it's come back 95.
For sure.
For
sure.
I think there are still issues that it needs to address, but it is very impressive that it's brought back the character-driven storytelling. It's brought back the moral dilemmas. It feels very serious and very engaged with the characters again.
Do you think it ever comes back 100%? What is 100%?
I don't know what 100% is.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
is it
what is the
season 4?
benchmark? Season 4.
Ides of March?
I mean, honestly, I don't think the show ever gets back to season 4.
But I think that the next season, the course that it takes or the tone that it decides to take is
rights a
way
lot of
better than
wrongs.
season 5.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And it definitely, some of these things like Gabrielle do get at least a little bit more attention in season 6, which we're happy about. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where season 4 was just, it had the dream team. All the best writers and directors were involved in that.
Totally.
And they don't have that anymore. They've basically lost all the people who were involved in that storytelling except for RJ and Rob.
Well, those are important guys. And they got some good new directors.
And they get some new blood in there to help
that's
with.
some good stuff.
Yeah. It is what it is. I think 95% is a miracle. Most shows do not recover at all from
it's such
being
a huge difference. Like the shit episodes of season 5 versus this, it's huge.
It's hard to even, find other shows that are able to recover. Most shows, once they lose momentum, can't get it back.
Right.
So, like, in a single season, to go from Fallen Angel to Purity and Back in the Bottle, and then to, like, get back to this place in even Livia, like, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
Right.
One more episode in
One
season 5.
more.
And then we're at season 6, which was introduced to us by those who have seen it before as the season that gives no fucks.
Excited.
It truly doesn't. And I think that that's like... It's defining characteristic. What is so wonderful about the next season. I'm very excited to get there. But yeah, like one more episode, season 5. Holy crap.
Yeah, so once again, reiterating, send us your questions for the mailbag.
We want to hear from you. Get them in. Now's the time.
Right.
You can do all the things with the social medias and stuff. This is where I say all the places that we're at where you can listen and stuff. So like xenawarriorpodcast.com is our website. You can go there and find links to everything, including Apple Podcasts, which is where you can please subscribe and rate and leave reviews, which is always helpful. We love reading your reviews, and also rating and leaving reviews helps people find the podcast. We are on Twitter at Xena Warrior Pod, doing extra commentary and gifts and fun stuff, and you should go follow us there. And then we are also on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Xena Warrior Podcast.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast!